Okay, we're going to get started. We'll let Jessica just come in a few minutes late. Okay. I call this meeting to order at 5:44. Emily, please take roll.
Present.
Hello, Hector Abad,
I'm here.
Daleen Garcia. Here. Emily Garcia, present. Kevin Mackey, he's not here yet. Jessica Mendoza's gonna come in. Mario Pineda
Present.
and Jacqueline Vaquer is
I
not
think
here.
she's coming in.
Yeah, she's coming late.
Perfect.
We do have some guests with us today. Press your button. Yeah.
Fine. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Martha Montaner, and I'm from the Office of Intergovernmental Affairs and Compliance, Miami-Dade County Public Schools.
Thank you. Lourdes Diaz, North Region Office.
She's public comments. No, not yet. But thank you.
No, I was here for public comments, but I'll introduce myself now.
Go ahead.
Esterbani Cintron. I live on Lewis Road. I was an elementary school teacher for 28 years.
Thank you. Okay, order of business, deferrals, additions, or deletions. I do have an addition to new business C, relocation of funds for Miami Lakes Middle for the amount of $14,367. From the tutoring account to the principal's special purpose account. I'm making a motion to add that, I guess. All in favor? Perfect. Moving along. Okay. Public comments.
Well, it's not really a comment. It's just to put an idea before you. I have always been interested in the childhood education programs in our county, and it seems that our governor has recently come out and made some rulings of things that were not to be done in our schools with the critical race theory and that type of thing. My problem is I cannot be sure under the guise of other names that these kinds of programs and educational ideas are still being used in these schools, because the textbooks aren't going to say, critical race theory. But I would just like to be able to flip through the textbooks out of curiosity, just to see the way they have changed since I was in the classroom. I've been out of the classroom for 20 years, so there's going to be a drastic change. And I have a granddaughter that will soon be school age, and I'm just curious. So I got in touch with the elementary school, and for 3 months, I tried to get an appointment to be able to see the textbooks that were being used in the elementary school. And today, I finally got a response where maybe it looks like I will get an appointment to sit and look at some books. Now, since you're the Education Advisory Committee, I was just wondering if you had any kind of authority or interest even in getting in touch with the junior high and the senior high, just to ask them if somebody, one of you, can just look through the textbooks. It doesn't have to be to take photos or to do anything like that, just to get an idea that they are really complying with the state laws that say we shouldn't have this kind of indoctrination going on in our classrooms. We would never know if you don't really look at the materials. You can get a list of the curriculum with titles of books that they use, but that's not going to show you what's in there. So maybe you guys, with your capacity as advisory board members might be able to access and have a look at them.
But I think everybody should have, shouldn't you have right to access it too? Then what elementary school are we talking about?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is just in Miami Lakes. Miami Lakes Elementary is where I wanted to go to see the books.
So my advice to you, look to your left, that's the region director. She is in charge, she's above the schools, and the principals. I say if the principal doesn't get back to you, maybe you want to reach out to the region, and
What?
you may want to reach out to the region, see if she could help you out.
Well, if I can
Sure.
respond, but I'm sorry, I'm going to turn so I can
No,
speak
it's
to
just
the
I
mic.
wear hearing aids and there's an echo and it's very hard for me.
Okay, so what we teach we teach the Florida standards, and those are all online. So you can access by grade level, and you can see what the state teaches. And we do not teach that the critical race theory. It is not in our standards.
Though, right?
No, you can break down to the
Materials.
actual standard, to what what reading comprehension, or if it were math, it would say, fractions and converting fraction to percent in fifth grade, and you would know exactly what is taught per grade level in this pretty significant amount of detail. And then our textbooks as well are state adopted. The schools are not able to say, I'm using this textbook, and then a school across the street, public, says, I'm using a different textbook. All of that is centralized to ensure that the schools are using the appropriate materials that have been vetted, that have been verified, and that are what should be taught. Also, you mentioned your granddaughter. In her student portal, the electronic version of the textbooks are available. So right now she doesn't have that because we're in between grades.
Not in yet.
Right. Oh, she has. Okay. But once she does, you can click on there and you can see her French book or a Spanish book or U.S. history or third grade reading, or all of our materials
will
are
see
online.
the
And
whole
you
book.
can see the book. Yes, the books have electronics, so you don't
Yeah,
even have to
that's
get.
important because that's what counts. Because,
And-
I mean, you can have reading comprehension, but it's what they're saying to teach you that is
It's
where-
available to all parents through the parent portal, through the student portal, and you actually see, and many of our teachers do, especially in this year that we just had so much online learning, they are assigning more and more of the work through the digital resources.
And does that
So
go for the junior high and senior high?
K
too?
through 12. So if you go and you have a seventh grade grandchild, you can click in the student portal and click on their math book, click on their social studies book, even the elective books, like if it's Spanish or some other, elective that they may be taking, and you can see the actual book. It comes up, it's like a picture of it, and you can flip the pages in full color. You can see the reading passages. So when the teacher assigns a homework, they have access, and
But
it's
you
all
do need
digital.
a student portal to get in.
Yes, you have, both of your granddaughter would have that, or the
Yeah,
parent.
because,
Does the
yeah.
parent portal show you the same access? There's two I know the student portal is one login and the parent portal is another.
I believe
The
so.
same? Correct.
That when you click and you see the student schedule, there's a little picture of a
Sorry,
book,
yeah.
and you click on the book and it opens. So yes.
That's good to know because I was talking to some junior high students and they told me that right here in Miami Lakes Junior, most of the classrooms don't even do the pledge in the morning, just a handful, because the teachers don't consider it that important or necessary. Now, that just got me very upset. And so I thank you, and I'm glad I came at this time. So thank you very much.
Let the record show that Jessica Mendes arrived at 5:48. Mendoza, I'm sorry. Moving along. Approval of minutes. Did everybody get? So, no other public comments? Oh, yes, please. I'm sorry.
Hi, my name is Vivian Levy, and I'm the chair of the Special Needs Advisory Board.
Hi, Yesenia Leiva, liaison of the Special Needs Advisory Board, Miami Lakes.
Thank you. Okay, moving along. Approval of minutes. Everybody take a chance to take a look at the minutes?
So I'll make the motion that we approve the minutes for the June 21st, 2021 meeting.
Let the record show. Jacqueline Vicker, 554. Sorry.
Why are you whispering?
Sorry, my mic's here, man.
Now, do you have a motion?
Do we have a second?
But you have to vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Moving along. All right. Old business. Update on the statutory impact fee allocation funds for Barbara Goldman. As you can see, the Barbara Goldman has requested their funds. We all been through this before for the study carols in the media center. We needed some wording from the school in order to get it approved. As you can see, the account increase enrollment, we need to add study carols to the media center. The carols will be increased for sitting capacity to the media center, and we provide students with a level of privacy for studying while they still align the staff to properly supervise them. Because of the height of the carols, they would need to be secured to the floor using concrete screws. The carols will also remain secured to the ground for safety and will remain as a permanent fixture to the media center.
So I have a question. When you put the word "we need" or "we needed to add," did they already add them?
No.
Okay, so we need to add, and when you say "we," I'm assuming there's a statement from somebody in the school, right?
Correct.
Which this would be a capital improvement, obviously, because it's going to be permanently attached to the school, which is what they wanted it to be worded.
It fits in the criteria from
Right.
from what we were told from legal. It's something that's affixed to the ground. It won't be moved.
Right? If you look into the details of it, it falls within that. Oh, you can't hear me? Oh, I thought I spoke very loud. Oh, okay.
Do we have any questions regarding this? The total amount for this allocation will be $30,000.
30?
30, yes.
So I will leave 60 for,
Well, 50 because we gave 10 already.
oh, okay. Oh, so the 90.
So I personally do not have a question about it. I mean, I think we've debated this again. We've been going over this for over a year now. I know that legal had their little questions. Hopefully this satisfies what they're requesting. The only thing is that if you're going to present this to council, instead of saying we needed to add, just make sure it clarifies that Barbara Goldman needs to add, not we. So.
Noted. Any other discussion? We do need to make a motion on it.
I don't mind making it, but if anybody else wants to do it.
I'll make it. I motion to allocate the $30,000 to Barbara Goldman Senior High for the study carols for the media center.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Moving along. We have the kindergarten savings account update. Do we have anything on that?
No updates.
Nothing. Do we know if the bank is set up or we have nothing on that yet?
Nothing on
Nothing.
my end. Nothing
Okay.
that I've been updated on.
Thank you. Cool.
So here we go. Since we like motions, I'll make the motion to table this item until the next meeting, so we could have more information on it.
Could I ask a question? I wasn't here the last meeting, and I was looking at the agenda from the last one. It said that Clarisol had said that they were going to, her team was going to work on the marketing plan to
Correct.
promote it. So you don't have any update on the marketing plan as well?
I know
in
that
a
the
month?
the marketing department had an issue, so I'm sure that we're starting from zero now.
Well, yes, but I'm sure they still have a few people or one person that can help. I'm just saying it's been a month, so I would like to see if this could have been started before schools to kind of announce it
Correct.
at the beginning of school. Maybe the kindergarten teachers could have that promoted when school begins. So,
Unfortunately, I don't have any update on that. I would suggest tabling it for the next meeting when your liaison is here, to ask her about that and possibly any updates on the kindergarten savings account and any
Okay.
marketing promotion that goes with that.
I know that Willie's doing marketing now. If anything, could we get an update if he's aware of
So Willie is not doing marketing. He's still. So I'm the communication specialist. And so any content creation, any marketing, we're kind of, with everything going on, we're kind of
bouncing around?
dividing
Okay.
between Claricel and I, divide and
Okay.
conquer. But Willie is still keeping economic development.
I see.
So he'll still be working with economic development and any kindergarten savings updates, that it will come from economic development as well. So Willie is still taking on that role. So I can follow up with him, but I don't have any updates on my end.
Okay, so we will go ahead and table that for, we have a second for the table?
second,
All in favor?
aye.
So we'll go ahead and table that. Okay, moving on to old business yearly award of excellence categories. Did we finally get a list of categories daily?
Good afternoon, everyone. And I just want to say, yes, we do have a list of the categories. We passed out the paper last meeting, but we want to go ahead and make some changes and add, add a couple of things on there. And this is why we today invited Ms. Vivian Levy and Jasenia Levy, who are with the Special Needs Advisory Board. And just because we want to go ahead and partner up with you guys, because I mean, the work that you guys do in the community is just amazing, and it needs to be heard, it needs to be seen, and we want to be able to collaborate with you and get ideas and work together. So with that being said, I would like for you guys to go ahead and speak.
Thank you, Daylene. Thank you to the Education Advisory Board for including us. This is our mission, to be included. So the fact that you want our opinion and you want to make us part of these awards, it really means a lot to us. And, we look forward to working together on this project and hopefully many more to come. So I don't know if you guys are going to go through the list or, add things, and we'll kind of give you our input.
Okay, so basically what we would like to see from your behalf, and I gave you the list, I want you to read, go over it, and just whatever great ideas you have in your mind and whatever you can come up with, I want to be able to sit down with you and implement it to this list. The purpose of this award is to recognize exceptional students and educators for the selfless service to their school and community. Not because of the grades, not because of their GPA, but because of the work that they do in the community. Those students that never get the opportunity to be able to be recognized because of the work, because of just those students are the ones that we want to focus on. In this case, special needs. Whatever you can come up with, by all means, I want to be able to work with you guys. So far, we have, it's a whole big list here. We want to kind of read it, kind of minimize it. And at the same time, I know there's a little part here that's missing, and it's the way that how we're going to select those students. Those students are going to be not only students, this is going to be for students and educators or people that work, in this case, with special needs students, just volunteers in the schools, everyone and anybody that gives back to the community, that gives back through education. So what we would like is to kind of minimize the items, kind of minimize the categories, and then the way that it's going to be selected. Here in the town, through the Cultures Affair, we have an event called the Women Distinction Award, and they do it yearly. It opens up, the nomination opens up in the town through social media. So that gives an opportunity to the family members, to friends, to teachers, through mentors, coaches, and everyone to see it. In our case, not the Women Distinction Award, but we want those people to go in there, see the nomination, see what category they can fall into, and then nominate those people. We want to give an opportunity to every child, every community member to be able to be nominated. That once we get that information from the town, we will sit as a committee and we will choose the perfect candidate for each of those categories. We want to be able to choose the perfect person for that category, but we want everyone to get to receive an award because their work in the community means a lot to us. It is not just one special person. No, we want, it's going to be probably about 12 categories to 11, but we want to minimize it as much as possible because of the fact, remember, everything is money. We need sponsorship and so on. So far, we're good with sponsorships. This is not going to cost the town a dime. This is going to be done through EAB, but we're going to find our own sponsors, and we're good on that side. If you ladies have also sponsors that would like to come in and participate, by all means. The categories, let me go back to the categories because I was kind of giving a little bit of the information since I know we have visitors. I'm so sorry for that. Some of the categories are going to be athletics. You know what? Do we have an extra copy of this? We don't have an extra copy? I know we had extra copies the last meeting because I would like to give it to the ladies. Okay, we passed, okay, no worries. So those students that stand out in the athletic department, if, let's say, for example, contribution, individuals, teams with sports in their community services and activities, they participate in sports and they bring new fresh ideas to a sport, to a team, and just for standing out in something that they create within their schools, within their communities. Doesn't mean that they have to be part of a team, doesn't mean that they have to be part of a specific sport, but if they bring to the community something special, that's part of the athletic. I'm kind of going really quickly along the line. Business. If they have a great business idea, for example, at Barbara Goldman, and I wouldn't call it more of a business, I would call it more of a community hero, actually. We have a young lady that started her own nonprofit organization. She is part of the FBLA, which is the financial business, exactly. So she not only is learning how to run her business, because we all know that a nonprofit, although it's a nonprofit, it manages the same way. So this young lady decided to start her nonprofit and give back to the community. She picks up donations and so on, and she's gotten involved in the town, she's gotten involved in the community, and she gives back. So she's not, in her case, she is part of the FBLA, but students like her that are not given the opportunity to be recognized at a different level, maybe in education and so on, we want to be able to recognize those kind of students. So I mean, there's a whole list here from English to literature to authors to fine arts to journalism, local advocacy. If you want to speak on behalf, for example, ALS, suicide awareness, and you create, like when we had the Out of the Darkness event, you created this event, which was Emily Wong back then. She was a student at Barbara Goldman Senior High as well. She created this event to stand out and speak about suicide prevention and so on. So those are the students that we're looking for. We want to be able to help them out and not only showcase their work, but at the same time, we want to be able to partner them up with community local businesses and sponsors and community leaders that can give them that extra step to move on and continue to do the work that they're doing. So it's kind of an idea of, this is new. We're bringing this up in order to start it this year if we can. So we're brainstorming right now. We're brainstorming, and this is why we brought the Special Needs Advisory Board. So it's a whole, it's a project as a whole.
If I may. It would be great for the special needs to come up with at least, I would say, 2 categories or 3 that we could join in. And like Delene said, we're not looking for the average person that always gets the award. Someone that, is out of the ordinary, does out of the ordinary, community interactivity, but not in the sense that they're doing it, all the time. You understand where we're going with this? There's always those special kids that don't get the recognition that they deserve. We feel that way. So I think it'd be great if you guys could come up with at least 3 categories that we could use in the special needs, that we could bring to the town.
With that being said, and I'm sorry to interrupt, we don't want to set them aside. We want them to be part of
Correct.
these awards. We want them to be part of every category.
I'm sorry, let me interrupt for a minute. I'm a little confused. The last time I was here, since I wasn't here the last meeting, I know that the meeting in July, you guys were doing the award categories and things like that. I was under the impression it was going to be an array of awards, not just only for public service. Are we going to have other types of awards too?
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay,
I
so
have
it's
a-
not just the public service?
No,
Oh, 'cause since
correct.
that's all you were talking, I
Yeah.
thought, I was like, hold on, did we turn into a different,
Mhm.
oh, okay, so there's gonna be for the public service and then there's also gonna be for every type of category?
Yes,
Okay, okay,
correct.
perfect, because there's so many different ways, because I know that there's children that are not able to go out into the community, and they don't have the resources, they don't have the parents, they don't have some of them are shy, they can't do that public service, but they do so many other things, so I didn't have like the list or anything, so I didn't know. Thank you, because I didn't know, so since I only heard about public service, I was like, hold on, what happened to all the other kids? Right.
Can't have that opportunity to do something else and get that recognition, but we go above and beyond elsewhere.
Right.
That they deserve a recognition.
Okay, so okay.
So I think at the end, it's like this, right? So we don't want to create like 500 categories tampoco, we don't want to be here like all night giving awards, right?
Like 10 categories.
But I think, for those of us who are involved with the school board, those kids, the gifted kid is always going to get recognized. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of kids that go above and beyond and get recognized. We just want to be able to include everybody. You know what I'm saying? Just not make sure that it's not, oh, Johnny has a 4.0 and he's gonna get the principal's award, or we're gonna give this huge trophy to this, kid because they. So, and I think that's where you guys came in. When we talked in the past, some of our debate is some of the wording. You know what I'm saying? We want to make sure that whoever we recognize feels that they're part of our group. That's it. It's part of the recognition, nothing out of this. And I guess that's where we're at.
Hector, kind of like a unsung hero. I think it's an unsung hero.
Right,
It's kinda
type of
it
thing,
sounds like
type
that's
of
what
thing.
you're looking at.
That's
Not
what
the
I'm saying.
usual person, but someone who's
Whether they're
still.
resilient, whether they're, there's a lot of categories.
I think, right. I think that the way that the way it's written now, it's good because it's inclusive. What we don't want is to specify individuals with disabilities. We want to keep it inclusive as it is. So with the categories that are now listed, some I feel can be combined to condense, if you will. But I know for the things that we've done so far, we already can think of so-and-so that would be good in creative arts. We have a young woman that does Zumba and she's amazing and she was born with Down syndrome. So that's the idea with the being inclusive and
Right.
for me so far, I like how it is. I like the wording. I appreciate the wording very much. I'm a fan of using disability. It is what it is. I have a disability, and I really believe in the wording to be important, to just say it in that way and in a respectful manner. I think it's good. I think my only concern would be how we're going to market it to let people know they're included and that this is for them as well, even though it says it here clearly, but because it's new to the community in a sense, it's how can we grasp their attention to say, hey, you're included in this and this is for you as well, right? So in that sense, we would have to use a little bit more of creativity in the wording. I like all abilities. Like all abilities. A lot of times we say different abilities. I'm not a fan of that, but saying all abilities, disabilities, just staying away from any other type of derogatory words like, handicaps or special, staying away from that kind of language. But honestly, I think, again, if we bold, if you will, disability and all abilities and for everyone from the beginning, then
If I
we should.
may, Jesse, if you can put that in writing for us, I would love to get your opinion and get your wording. I mean, what better person than you?
Okay.
That would be great. We can work with that.
Okay.
Since you guys are in the community, maybe you have some way of putting this out to your parents so that they know that they're also included. Because obviously for Community Hero, for English Literature, Fine Arts, I've seen some children with disability. Being a teacher for 27 years, I've seen them, and I've seen they have ability in art, music, dance, like you say. They, just because they're on the spectrum or just because they have a disability doesn't mean that they are extremely intelligent either. So they do fall into these exact categories that are here as well. So do you see that you would need to add any categories to this? I mean, because I think the children with disabilities can also be included in these categories as well. But then they would have to go and compete against all the children the same way. Like when we choose, we're not going to choose because this one has a disability. We don't want to say, okay, well, we feel bad, so let's go towards this one instead of this one. So they're going to be grouped together, correct? If they go for journalism, they will all be in journalism together. Fine arts, they will all be in fine arts. So I just don't want them to feel bad if they don't get chosen. I know that the new kids that are being brought up very inclusive. So I don't think that some of them, especially in the schools, we have such inclusivity in the classroom that some of my children, they don't notice that they're different. And I wouldn't, point it out to them either. But I know that maybe the older kids, maybe they'll feel like, oh, well, I wasn't chosen because, whatever disability. And then I don't know how to, just to make sure that they all know it's just fair. It's going to go by a certain rubric.
Yes, but if I may, the voting works like we do the woman of distinction,
that we
where
don't
someone
see.
has to nominate them.
Yes.
And then so on and so on. Somebody else has to do the same and same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
So-
what I mean, that they'll all be.
I don't think that even on that platform, you can, there's no way for you to know that it's a special needs or there's no, I don't.
Right, we don't know, but then I don't want the children to think that for some reason, because they don't know how we vote. So I just wanted
But
them to know
it
how
wouldn't
we
be
vote as
based
well.
on us voting. It would be based on how many members of the town, let's say, would vote for that person or that child. And
So we're not the voting committee for this?
no, I don't believe it.
I thought it was the EAB.
Actually, the members of the public nominate
Right, they're
through
going to
the
nominate.
town.
Right.
Then the town, go ahead, Elizabeth.
Yes,
since
I don't
know
want to
you-
interrupt,
yeah.
but for the Women of Distinction, so Cultural Affairs, since it's a bigger committee, it cuts into a subcommittee.
Right.
In this case, we don't need a subcommittee, right?
Mhm.
So we create a Google Doc and we put the categories, business, arts, et cetera, et cetera. We promote it to a certain deadline. People of the public nominate. We don't see pictures. We don't see, there's no distinction, of race, ethnicity, nothing, disability, nothing. And the subcommittee comes back. At the end, there's like a letter of explanation of why should this person win. So Jane Smith is X, Y, and Z. The subcommittee comes back with these papers and they read it and they choose, okay, so,
like we
she
choose
makes
the
a
like a
good
scholarship.
business woman of distinction category, right? She wins because she did X for her business and for the community.
So it is the committee. That's
It
going
is
to
the
it.
committee,
That's what
yes.
I thought. It's going to be like the scholarships and things, yes.
So
Yes.
that's why we would like for you ladies to be part of that committee as well.
I have a question. So are all the nominees gonna find out that they were nominees or only the winners? So that the people who don't win, they won't really ever find out that they lost because they.
No, our nominees, they don't know if they lost or won. They sometimes don't even know if they were nominated. Usually when they win, I send out an email, you've won. So for this year, for example, we did a video. Due to COVID, we did a video and a private ceremony. So that's how they knew. They didn't even know they were nominated.
Really? So no one told them they were nominated?
No.
Okay.
Has it been like that every year?
Yes, it's been like that everywhere. Well, as far as I know, it's been like that every year with Google Docs.
Well, as long as the teachers or the parents don't tell their child, hey, I'm nominating
Right.
you.
Right, that's
But
not.
I doubt the
that's-
parents are not going to be telling their children. I doubt
A
that.
couple of years back, I was nominated by the town as Women
Yes.
Distinction Award, and I remember the only thing I received was an email saying you have been formally invited to the Women's Distinction Award at this date, this time, and that was it.
Okay, so,
I really didn't get
you know,
anybody else's information. And yes, I did receive an award. that day. Um,
no, we don't send an email
Right.
to the nominees. We don't contact them. We only send to the winners. You are formally invited. You've been selected as a woman of distinction for business
Each
category.
category.
Unless you guys want to reword the email or the letter in a different way, just you want to invite them, and then it can be a little surprise for them at the ceremony, or if you want to say it. But they don't know that they were nominated. If they won, they lost. Nobody knows that unless, again, a parent or a teacher tells them. But usually they don't really
Right.
tell them.
I think you guys have been doing a great job with that. So I think that maybe we should follow along the same
Is there a
pattern.
way for you to, let's say, I nominate a student and I want to share that link with somebody else for they can nominate?
Yes, you can nominate a person multiple times. We get women of distinction this year. I remember we got for the business category 5, 6 nominees. It can't be repetitive, of course.
Right.
Each little description has to be different. We
Yes.
got a lot of repetitive. We kind of got people saying the same exact thing, like a copy and paste. So it'd be great if it can be different. It can be the same person, but a little bit different, not like a copy and paste from every single person nominating that person.
So just in the, because we do need to move along at some point, but I will say this, okay? I would love to see a special needs student recognized. Whatever you name the category, I don't care. Even if it's only kids for special need, whether they're resilient. I mean, what I would hate to go up is like, for example, I do show up in a lot of award ceremonies, and I've seen it a lot. A principal or teacher say, the special needs student of the year. I mean, why? Or the
Yeah.
ESOL student of the year. You know what I'm saying? Now, I have no problem with creating a category that only kids who may have a disability get nominated. Obviously, how do we word it?
We don't want to do that.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Then
The,
I'm
the
okay with
categories that are already here,
Right.
they're
Then I'm
perfect.
okay with that.
So,
So the whole point of bringing you in is to get your expertise,
Yeah.
right? Because you're
Yeah.
the ones in the area. So-
yeah.
So you think the categories, you have enough students that would fit within those categories?
Every single one.
Okay.
Every single one. And I mean, if I was nominating a child or a student with special needs, I'm going to say it in the application. So, I mean, that's part of, exactly. That's why, you know, like you said, it makes it even more like his effort, you know, maybe he didn't get an A, but by God, it took him, you know, so much out of that student to get a B, and the teacher noticed, you know, so.
Well, I was talking about the fine arts because, well, arts in itself, there was I think Marilena had, from Hope for Autism, she had shared an artist. Oh my God, I went through his paintings. Beautiful. I wanted to purchase a
Yeah.
few of them. So that's why I was saying it was amazing. They were very expensive, but they were amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of talented, you know, kids in the Hope for Autism team, which is the Miami Lakes.
So,
team.
so what
you
I'm
know.
thinking is we promote this to, I remember doing the graduate banners. We had an autistic student. One of his parents purchased a banner, and he was from an autism school. I don't remember the name right now of it. He was purchased a banner. So maybe promoting this to all schools and teachers, even the schools with like the autism school.
Well, we are supposed to be promoting everything to every school
every school.
in
Yes.
Miami Lakes, not just public.
Okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to be every single school. There's a school here?
Oh, Gigi's Playhouse? Gigi's
Oh,
Playhouse is a
yeah.
nonprofit organization
Yeah,
for
yeah, no,
children.
no.
Well,
I know the,
you ladies. Yeah,
yes.
Vivian and
Our,
Jesse
the
knows.
Zumba dancer our instructor I was referring to is from Gigi's.
Yeah. We met her the last time we went.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I know we're supposed to open it up to every single,
There's also
So
Angels
that'd be
Reach Academy. That's a new
but they're not in
school.
Miami Lakes.
Yes, they are.
Where? I thought they were in
They're
Highland
in
Gardens.
the new White House. In the White House, they moved in there.
Oh, I thought she was in Miami Lakes. I mean, I thought she was in Highland Gardens because she had told me she had started there, but I didn't follow.
Yeah,
that
they
she had
moved.
moved. Oh,
So I
that's
don't know
good.
if you want to
Okay.
include
Yes, of
that
course.
school.
Yeah.
in-
Yes, every
Even though it's
single-
private.
No, private, public, anything that's within our city limits that have to do with the school children, we have to promote, we have to
And
include
we
that.
also put this in the newsletter. So let's say this, whatever this is approved and done, we put it in the newsletter over to our 12,000 subscribers. So everyone gets it as well. And then of course on the flyer, on the promotion, on the caption, it will say exactly like women of distinction, has to be a Miami Lake resident, business owner, etc.
And at this time, we would also like to request permission from the school board to be able to promote it or provide that information to the teachers, principals, and so on, so they're aware in every school.
But yeah, I think we need to finish.
Correct. I was
Right,
gonna,
right.
correct,
When the
yes.
time comes, yeah.
So may I address that through the chair? So in those cases, yeah, it's very important that we're involved, certainly my office directly, because once we get all that information, we have an internal vetting process, and then we work with the region so that we can disseminate it to the schools.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But let's make sure we have
So,
meetings squared away
correct.
before.
So going forward, Daleen, let's work on finalizing the list. Obviously, the list is great. So let's try to make it down to, I don't know if you want to take a vote on it or if you guys want to agree on it, to at least 10 categories so we don't make it a little overkill.
Yeah, I think we
think
could,
Some of
I
them
know that
can
the
combine,
women distinctions,
like,
because of that
fine
same,
arts.
they probably have about 12 categories.
We have 8
Oh,
categories.
so you
I
guys
believe.
went down to 8?
I believe we have 8. We have
Like
business,
science,
arts,
mathematics,
humanitarian, social
So see,
services.
during the, every year that passes by, you learn and you, depending on the
Yes, I
sponsorship and
believe
so on, so
we
you guys
had
minimized it to 8.
An added category that was passed by the subcommittee for an individual who passed away that they wanted to honor.
Okay.
I believe we have 8 or 9 every single year, but that usually takes place in March during International Women's Month. So other than that, you guys, I think, can do
We
any.
were thinking
month.
more towards the end of the school year.
Yeah, so that would be fine.
So we still have some time. So
Yes.
let's finalize that list. We could bring that back to our next meeting with a concrete idea of what we're going to go with. So we could start, going forward.
And going forward, I do the agenda. So like, Day, I know you had that. Send it on over to me so I can add into agenda so everyone can have a copy
In
of
the
it.
last meeting, Claricel had copy of all. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Just so
Do we
one,
But thank you.
Do we agree on the 10 of just having 10 categories? Because
just one recommendation.
Sure.
So, mathematics, science, technology, perhaps condensing that into STEM, the STEM program, science, technology, engineering, mathematics.
Yes.
It makes it a few less in one. And then the other thing I wanted to mention to the award. Yes, I was trying to see how to word it better, but we appreciate the individual with disability being included in the process of the award, without so much thinking of the feeling, if you will, if they don't get chosen. It's like, listen, you were nominated. If you're nominated, great. If you were chosen, great. And if you weren't, hey, try again next time. You know what I mean? Like we would do with others. So not so much focusing on the negative aspect of it versus, you were nominated.
Gotcha. So going forward for the next meeting, we'll get a list of 10 categories. Okay, just so I know when I present to council that we're gonna have to get approval for the yearly award of excellence with 10 categories.
Okay.
Okay. So we're okay with 10?
Yes, that's perfect.
Okay. So I will make a motion to have the yearly award of excellence with 10 categories for this coming up school year 2021 and 2022.
I second it.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Perfect. Moving on. Okay, moving on to new business. We do have a little time schedule here, so we'll go on. We have the, if you're not aware of the YTF Back to School event that they're having, they ask us to, we would like to participate. We have the opportunity to participate in the event. We have a sponsor that is willing to give us some books and literature, and we'll be able to hand it out at the event. I don't see this as being a bad idea. I think it'd be great for us to be out there. We do wanted to do more events, as we said. I don't know if what you guys think about this.
What's the date?
The date is August.
August 16th, I believe,
Okay.
but I will double check.
It's the
I'm
day of the
sorry.
open house.
It's August 14th
August
from
14th.
11 a.m. to 2 p.m. This is at Picnic Park West, and it would, I guess it follows right after the town's open house
Correct.
event where they're going to be promoting all the town school and after-school programs and
yes.
so on.
So it's from 11 to 2, right?
From 11 to 2, I'm sorry.
So it's on a Monday.
No,
on a
it's on
Saturday.
a Saturday.
August
The
14th.
The 14th, I'm
You
sorry,
told
the
me
14th.
16th, so
14th.
16th was
So
Monday, okay, so it's
August
14th.
14th.
It's
Yeah.
right after the open house.
And the
So
promotion has
it-
already been on social media. The
Correct.
end of
Yes.
Summer Bash, all the
Correct,
social
Summer
media
Bash.
is on.
The event is
Mhm.
called Summer Bash, and it's being hosted by the Youth Activities Task Force. So basically, they have asked us, or we would like to be a part of the event to have a table. We have a lot of books, reading books from all ages that we would like to give out for free in that event. I know that through other sponsors, they're going to be giving out backpacks, school supplies, and so on. So that would be great for us to be able to partner up as well and be there.
So I'm all for it. The only thing that I see is that the 14th, a lot of schools do their open houses as well. It's a Saturday. And they tend to do like the 6th graders or the 9th graders or,
So I
no,
see.
I mean, but I'm sure they're usually in the mornings. So hopefully some of those kids can come out after they're done with their
So-
event.
That day is open house for the majority of the schools or in,
Well, I know some schools do.
Barbara Goldman
I
has,
don't have a calendar for the whole schools.
I don't have a date for Bob Graham. I don't have a
yeah,
date
Barbara
yet.
Goldman has their open house, I think that day, but it's at night.
it's at night?
I think it's at later on, like
9.
at 6 or something like that. I don't know about the
Yeah,
rest.
each school determines their
Determines,
time and
okay,
date,
perfect.
and
So it
some
won't be
may
that
do it during the week,
Okay.
especially for the younger kids. They tend to do it when the teachers are there because
Right.
the teachers want to meet, I'm sorry, the parents want to meet the teacher, and there's a variety. There's not a set
There's not a set
this day
date.
at this
Okay.
time, no.
Mhm.
Okay, so I will make,
So, Mario, I had a question.
yes?
I know that the flyer has been sent out,
Correct.
but because EAB is going to be there providing as a sponsor the books and so on, would we have to request for the flyer to be fixed to add the EAB logo on there?
We do have to get, what I was told is that we have to get it approved by the committee first. Once that is get approved, then they will put the logo on the,
That's a really quick. So I'll make a motion that we collaborate with the YATF for the back to school event on August 14th.
I second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, moving right along, 7B. So I've been talking to the president of Miami-Dade College North, I believe, Furman, and he's asking to partner with us throughout the year with programs that they have, throughout the town, not only for students, but as well for adults. I think this is a great idea for the EAB. one of the partnerships that they want to start with is actually the YTF Back to School. They want to showcase some of the programs that they have available for the students, the fire academy, the police academy, and so on. So not only do they want to do just a pamphlet or something like that, they want to do hands-on. So they're going to have physical, like the fire station perhaps, or the police dog, and things like that. So he wants to get involved with the town as much as he could or can. I think it would be a great idea for us to venture in seeing what he has to offer. Obviously, we have to get it approved by the committee first for us to do anything with him. But I think this is a great opportunity. Any discussions?
That was just the one for the North Campus?
Correct.
Okay.
I believe that's our campus. That in sense that let's say that they've always been able to partner up with us in other ventures. Let's say
Us as in?
the town.
Okay, no, because you do know, I don't know if you're aware, my brother became chairman of the Miami-Dade Community College whole.
Oh,
Like the
wow.
whole. So he is on their board. He's a chairman appointed by the governor. So if we want to have the entire college or have him come and speak, or the president of the entire college come and speak, we have access to them. Because I heard you mention the Miami-Dade, the one from North. So I said, well, maybe they have, something bigger, something more that they can offer. So if you would want for me, or if you'd like us to contact and see what they can do, maybe they can come to one of our meetings. Maybe they can say how they can collaborate in a bigger sense. Then maybe they can bring outreach out to the community. Maybe I can contact him and have him, see what they can do.
I definitely.
Because since you mentioned them, I didn't know that we collaborated with them.
Yes. We, as of now, I believe we're trying to do our first collaboration with the YTF Back to School.
Right.
So moving forward, I believe the town is going to work with the AB in creating some kind of programming. But we're open to any suggestions that you might have from your brother-in-law. You said
My brother. Yeah,
But
Roberto Alonso.
definitely. I always I believe that we all don't need to be students. Not everybody has to be a doctor or a lawyer. There's other
Right.
things
Mhm.
that they offer in Miami-Dade College that you can make a great living. So I believe those things need to be shared within the town and with
Exactly.
the students that we have. And I think that'd be great.
So yeah, no, you were saying it says MDC partnership for back to school event, so that would have to be something spoken about.
Yeah, this is one event that we're just.
Oh, it's
talking about
already
there. Correct.
it's already done.
It's not done. We obviously need approval from the committee to go forth with it, but I believe that Miami-Dade College and the town is talking on seeing what the layout would be, what they're willing to come offer us at the event.
Oh, okay. So this is already, the town is collaborating with them, and for us to be involved is what you
Correct.
would want to do. Okay, okay,
So I'll be honest with you again.
okay.
You know how I like
Please,
to be
please
very
do.
honest, sir, right? So I don't see the point of us voting. If they're going to participate in the event, they're going to participate in the event. That's between them and the town, right? I don't see where we are involved in this now. If they
From
vote
what I
in-
understand, if I may, they have to partner up with us regardless
Okay.
For this one event.
for anything they basically do within the town if they want to.
I'm okay with partnering with them for this one event, right? Because that's what, all you're asking here is for that one event.
All I'm asking right here is for this one event.
Anything further, I agree with Jessica. I would love to see something in writing, a proposal. What is that you're asking us to do?
Absolutely.
It's okay for you to stand here, to sit there and tell us, oh, they want to do this, this, and this, but I'd rather.
The idea is just to get this back to school event approved, and going forward, I believe William is working with the Miami-Dade College to see what programs they'll be willing to offer to the town, and
What's
so on.
this event going to entail? Do you know?
From what I've known from the YTF, it's just I believe it's back to school bash, right?
It's a back to school with backpacks, I believe,
Yeah.
day. I know you're very involved in that. So
It's kind of
Yeah.
like let's say, we're there, I believe at the YTF, they were talking, they were celebrating going back to school.
Okay, okay,
So
so it's not really
In
college.
reality, the whole idea came about because every year they do the ice cream social.
Right, mhm.
So because through COVID and everything that's been going on, it's been a little bit hard to be able to obtain sponsorships and so on for the ice cream social. So they actually turned it into a summer bash where they now not only give the ice cream for free and they have certain sponsors coming in, but they want to also partner up and bring the education part about it. And it's just in order to promote, going
who's your
back to school.
contact?
I'm sorry?
Who's the contact
For
that event?
Oh,
From
that-
Miami-Dade,
well,
from Miami-Dade College?
Oh,
my Miami-Dade card, so
I don't know who it is that is working on
the
it.
YTF is the one that's
the
hosting this
YTF is the
event.
one that's hosting the event.
And Ernie Soto is the liaison from the town. So he
from the
should
town.
probably, yeah, he should have all the information of the sponsor's name and
Okay, so he's the
information.
one that's speaking to them about.
Correct. Furman Vasquez.
Okay. Herman?
Furman.
Furman.
Fermin.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, so we still have a motion on the, do we have a motion? I'll make the motion. I motion for Miami-Dade College and the EAB to partner for the back to school event on August 14th.
Second?
All in
Eileen
favor?
Garcia.
Aye.
Moving on to 7C. Relocation of funds, $14,367 from the tutoring account to the principal's special purpose account. Obviously, we all know that we presented Miami Lakes Middle with a check for $10,000 to update the auditorium. They still need some work on that auditorium. The sound system is still the original sound system, I believe, from 1967 or 74. Sorry. They don't have any lighting. They don't have any sound. The flooring is work from, I guess, a water leak. And this money has been sitting in the tutoring account for some time now. And it'd be a great opportunity to get reallocated for special purposes as so. Open for discussion?
So I assume that's why the ladies from the school board are here, right? Because so let me say this about that. So since I've been at this board, I've always argued, especially every time we come up with these budget meetings, or that I always have a hard time just giving money to schools without asking the principals what they need it for, right? So apparently for many years, we keep dumping money into some sort of tutoring account. So in this particular case, this money has been there in some instances up to 11 years ago was deposited in their account. So this $14,000 is it's a tally. It's not a one-year thing that the EAB has provided the school. It's been there for years. It's added up to $14,367 that has been unused. Now, we provided the $10,000 for the auditorium, just for basic knowledge, because we all went, or most of us went to present the check, and we talked to the principal. And so in reality, the sound system is about $12,000, right? So they're still short $2,000.
Correct.
And that's not a significant number. I'm sure they could find the money some other way, but the principal had discussed that she wanted to create a visual arts program, some sort of arts program. We saw the flooring. We saw that there's no lighting. So obviously there's a lot of added cost to it, more than what we provided the town. So what she was saying is that being that this money has been stuck there, that she really has had no access to this money anyways, she wanted us to try to see if it was possible to move it into that account so she could do whatever needs to be done to update the whole auditorium. And if there's any other leftover money, she had talked about some sort of dance program, I believe she said, that
so.
she was doing. And the flooring, I believe it's quite pricey as well. So that's where it comes from. I'll be honest with you guys, I'm all for it. The money sitting there is not any money that we are gonna have to come up with. It's just a matter of going in front of the town council and getting them to approve.
It's just for them to be able to be allowed to move their money.
Right,
Correct.
right.
It's already given.
Yeah, the money's already there.
The money's been sitting there for some time now. It's
Might as
just-
well use
might
it
as
for
well.
something that they need.
So, and I personally saw some of the dates, and I'm telling you, some of them, I think, if I'm not mistaken, one was like 11 years ago.
And the auditorium definitely needs some updating. And I believe it would be put for greater use for the greater amount of children at that school. So
I mean, do keep in mind that whatever we do to improve any school, I know the school board does their own thing and their own budgets. I know principals have limitations on how they can use their money. And a place like the auditorium, a media center, places like that, that most kids go through it. You know what I'm saying? It's, I think whatever we can do to help them out,
Sorry, I do have a question. What was the money originally intended for?
tutoring.
Oh, tutoring.
Tutoring.
Okay, tutoring. Okay, got it. And they never used it, is what you're saying?
No.
That's why it's grown to 14,367.
Right, so one year we give them like
Okay.
4,000, the next year 3,000, like whatever the past EAB boards provided.
question, if I may, do they not use it for tutoring because they get funded through other means, like the ESSER account now that we have, or when we had COVID, I guess the government provided funds for tutoring as well and things like that, right?
Yeah, they have other sources that they can utilize for tutoring. And I don't have the breakdown of these amounts, so it's very difficult for me to speculate, but based on the way Hector was explaining, I would imagine that it was a small amount that was kind of left over each year. So when you had, 1,000 left over or 600 left over or whatever, and then it started to accumulate over time. But there are some other funding resources that they would have that she could utilize for, or he or she, because principal before was a he, can utilize for tutoring. So I imagine that that's what transpired, that over the course of as many as 11 years, these small amounts started to accumulate and they cannot be moved to anything else. So if you have a small amount left over this year, a small amount left over last year, it can accumulate. Again, that's what I think, having not seen the breakdown of the tally.
Thank you. So, moving on. Do we have a motion?
So if nobody's gonna discuss it, then I'll make the motion that we move the $14,367 that's currently sitting at Miami Lakes Middle School's tutoring account to the principal's, what do we say, special purpose account.
I second it.
All in favor? Perfect. Moving on. D, changing from an advisory board to a committee. Discussions.
Yes, they do. Gives us a little bit more say, and more, our input is a little bit more.
Again, this is something we would have to take up to council.
Obviously.
Yeah, so we would have to get their blessing in order to go forth. I don't see why we shouldn't present it. I believe that we could definitely,
We would have to change the charter, right?
correct. We'd have to change the charter, but we'd have to begin from somewhere, from changing from an advisory board to committee, and then the town would have to revise our rules.
So the report to council will be August 10th. So if you want to bring this up to council on August 10th, I suggest doing so, unless you have to wait until September.
Correct. I believe that the report be due before the 29th, right?
Correct. Correct.
What would the new name be?
So it'd be Education Advisory Committee or Education Advisory.
So my friend Jackie, and welcome back.
I don't know if advisory would still be.
So
Yeah,
Yeah.
advisory wouldn't be used,
It'll
it
be
would be
education.
education,
An education
committee
committee.
board?
Whatever
I
you
don't
want
know.
to call it,
I think
it's,
it would be education committee, period.
Education committee, okay.
I would think.
so ultimately, at the end of the day, part of our, by the way, welcome, like I said, and
Well, thank you.
And let me take a second to also thank Councilwoman Ruano for reappointing you. I know we were shorthanded for a while.
Yes.
But I'm glad that, she made us whole again.
We're all glad you're back, Jackie.
Yeah.
We did miss you.
So I think part of the discussion, and you've been a past chair, Jackie, is that as an advisory board, they always keep telling us that all we do is advise. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I feel like we get put down a lot for that. And at the same time, we do have a budget. So there's like a little contradiction there, right? There are other advisory boards, but I don't think they have a budget. No, they don't have a budget. You guys have a budget? The town doesn't give you money. It's a fundraising from the event, right? Everybody's different. So part of the thing is, like I've always said, or we argued last meeting a lot, I think we should have a student as part of our committee, to be honest with you. We talk about education, we talk about all these things, but who gets impacted more than the students themselves, right? So I'm not saying we want to be a PTA either, right? But how sometimes PTA have a student representative. It would be good to have a student, probably a high school kid. I mean, I know who I want, but then I get that. But have a high school student sit there and and whenever we have these arguments, they may be able to speak from the student's perspective. I mean, they're there the whole day, in a school, so they should know.
I know that the YATF has students on board. For the past couple of years, they've been trying to place middle school students as well, because some of these students are just amazing and they speak like adults. They're just so involved in their schools and community and so on. The only difference is that if we do have students, by all means, I'm all happy about it and look forward to getting a student here in the committee. But it would be just the voting part about it. When they have to vote in reference to budget money, moving money, that would be the only, that would be the only thing that would impact, But other than that, it would be great to have, we have a couple of students out there, for example, and if I can say the name, Maurice, he's just amazing.
So no, he's not. We'll find a way. We'll tap him out of some other.
So I suggest looking, and I think we spoke about this maybe a couple of months ago. Each committee, each liaison sent the committee the charter of why your committee was formalized, and if you want any changes to bring it up to council. So I think this is a great time with the report coming up in August to bring these changes to the charter, perhaps to get council to approve. So I think this is a great opportunity to bring item D, and then also with having.
But do we have to change the
students.
charter first, or can we ask the council if we can change?
I believe we have to just get the blessing from the
You have to get the blessing from the council. You have to get their approval before you change,
So
because
not knowing what-
ultimately, at the end of the day, council did formalize the committees. You got to have their
So
approval.
not knowing what it fully entails, but knowing that there's another board coming up.
I'm sorry, I have a quick question. So that we would have to change our bylaws and everything? So then we would have to meet before to change our bylaws?
If you've looked at them,
Yeah,
they're
well,
basically for a
but if
committee.
we want to add and tweak,
But
so-
we're probably gonna have to take out a few words
You're
and
going to
reword
have to
Exactly.
things.
tweak the
But I
charter.
don't, right, but I don't think we have to change
Right.
what it is.
And if you would like, I don't remember your guys' logo, maybe even change your logo if it has Education Advisory Board, but that's
Right,
down
I
the
think-
line,
I think
right.
tweaking
but
and
just
rewording
tweak-
things.
just to make sure that we have our bylaws and every,
Right.
documentation
because
in
that's
order
going to be the
before presenting it.
formal name.
Right.
If you get the approval from council, that's going to be the formal name. But that has to go to council. Council has to approve. And if they do approve,
So,
okay, go ahead.
so we wouldn't need to meet before you present?
We would have to get approval from council. After we get approval from council, we would have to meet in August. If it gets approved,
As your public.
then we would have to add it to the agenda to change our
Right,
bylaws.
but when you stand in front of council, wouldn't you want to have something in writing that gives the correct description of what we're trying to do with this committee? In reference, they're going to ask you, okay, what are your bylaws? What are your plans? Wouldn't you want to meet and do this before we stand in front of council?
From what I was told, we have to get it first approved by council to change from the advisory board to the committee. Once we change from the committee,
Got it.
then we have to go through our bylaws.
Got it. Perfect.
I believe I did send you, or the your liaison was supposed to send you, now that I think about it, your report to council schedule. So if I'm not mistaken, would you go up in August? Is that going to be your report? Because I know, so when your report comes up, I'm going to check that Wednesday. I'm out of the office tomorrow. Let me check when education goes up to council because I remember that each liaison had to send it. I will let the chair know and then I can send, or your liaison will send everyone an email. So if you don't go in August, you go on the scheduled one that you have.
Claricel advised me that I have to get it in before the 29th. If I was 50%.
Yes. Correct.
So it needs to be approved today. So do we have a motion on the table? Any motions? Motions?
I'll make it if nobody's gonna make it, but I cannot make all the motions here.
Well, actually, you can't.
I make a motion for Mario to present that we change from advisory to a committee.
To be called the educational committee.
Have we decided on the name?
Change to educational committee.
Okay, so to change from education advisory board to educational committee? Or
All in-
education committee?
All in favor?
Whichever way.
Aye.
The ayes have it.
I second, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Okay, announcements. Do we have any more announcements? No. Go ahead, Martha.
Yes, I'd like to let everybody know and remind everybody present that Florida's back to school week-long sales tax holiday. It's going to run for 2 weeks from July 31st to August the 9th. This item was proffered by Perla Taveras-Handman, our chair of the school board. So we're very excited about that. There is a list. I don't know if you have the news alert, but I'll be happy to share with you. I can send it to the liaison for your information. And then the other thing that I wanted to mention was that leading up to the beginning of the school year, Miami-Dade County Public School has partnered with the University of Miami for vaccine sites across the district. So there's a schedule. Pretty much, for example, Ernest Graham was on Tuesday. They have the vaccines there, of course, for all eligible candidates. And there's information available online. If you'd like, I can certainly send that to you as well.
Thank you. Any other announcements?
And since Claricel's out this week, if you guys have any questions, you can refer to me this week, and then I can give back any advice, feedback, or any other information back to her when she comes back on August 2nd.
Thank you. I'd like to thank Martha and Lourdes for coming out today, and Vivian and Yesenia. Thank you so much. We actually invite you to come out to our meetings if you can. We would like you to be here. We like your input. I believe that we need to be, more inclusive on working together. So I do hope to see you more, and I'm looking forward to working together.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much. It's been a while. We've been really wanting to get involved with many committees, and for me personally, this is like the most important committee. I'm very passionate about the inclusion, disability, and education from experience. So thank you.
Okay, so I adjourn at 6:57. Thank you. You love motions. You.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I didn't have any more updates. It's going through changes. But Willie's committee is coming up, so Willie's gonna be here. Ask him, but he's definitely gonna be economic development. Let me bring you down the agenda in minutes. Okay. If you want to keep it with you, I'm gonna be here tomorrow, or if you want Willie, because I have to get up anyway.
sit over here. Oh, yeah. I think he must, yeah. This is on. Good, and you? How was that July 4th celebration? Good? You had a nice turnout? Oh my gosh, how nice. Yeah? Nice. Nice. I haven't seen any pictures, but. Of fireworks? Oh, nice. For what? Oh, okay. Okay. Yes, only in person. I know, I wasn't expecting on seeing him. Nice surprise. I know. He's leaving us. That's good. Good for him. Oh, so they don't have somebody right now for his position. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yes, that's what I remember him saying at the last meeting. Yeah. No, I just came back to the DR. It was so. Oh my God! It was. We didn't go to one of all these all-inclusive hotels. We didn't do any of that. We went to this little town that's a kite surf town. A lot of surfing. The water's kind of choppy, not for like just relaxing in the water. But my husband got to learn how to kite surf, which he's been wanting to do. My daughter surfed. She took surf lessons. I took surf lessons with her. So it was nice. It was like a very, you know, yeah, it was really nice. And a beautiful little town. I mean, very poor because all of the DR is all very poor. Yeah, very poor. I had never been there, but it's very poor and the people are very, you could tell that the government doesn't invest in education. people are very, you could tell that they're not very well educated, didn't, I can tell that they, if they made it through grammar school, it's a lot. You could tell, like, when you talk to them. But very nice, humble people. It was a very nice experience. No Wi-Fi, so I got to disconnect. I mean, we had Wi-Fi, but not like all the time, so it was great for disconnecting. The resort areas are very nice, yeah. Oh, I didn't sign in, sorry. No. I don't think there's going to be a forum. Look, it's only us four. Oh, it is? Oh. The Symphony, right? Yeah. We have to vote on stuff. No, I think it's already done, right? So, look. Hey, sir. How are you? I know. I was at the last meeting, but I didn't see you at the last meeting, and I missed like the last few events. It's been
okay.
It's been a rough work year. So I haven't been able to come to like a lot of the events and stuff. Yeah, sure. Yeah, no worries. I have this.
Warren over there.
Huh?
You know Warren?
No.
Yeah, he's out.
He's the one that had COVID? He was out for a while. He was bad.
Yeah, he looked great.
Yes. Oh, man, that's
I've been
awesome.
here like 15, 20 years. He's been almost the same amount of time.
Yeah, wow. I remember hearing about the story. Oh, yeah, sure.
Thank you, sir. Well, what's going on? You good?
Good, thank God. Good to see you. Do we have enough for?
I don't think so. Let me give this to 6? Yeah. It's okay. It's okay. I got it. It's Monday. Mondays are rough. Is it 6 for a quorum or 7?
Good evening. Welcome to the Town of Miami Lakes Cultural Affairs Committee meeting. Today is Monday, July 26th. It's got the wrong date on here, but we'll straighten that out. 26.
Neil, excuse me, who's taking the minutes? Because
Aren't you-
Elsa's not here.
Aren't you the assistant treasurer?
I am, but usually she notifies me when she's not going to be present. Do
Okay.
you know if she's coming?
I don't know. I haven't heard from her.
Elsa.
Okay, today is Monday, July 26th. The time is 7:10. I'm calling the meeting to order. My name is Neil Robinson. I'm the chairperson for the Cultural Affairs Committee. Madam Assistant Secretary, would you please call the roll? There are the names there, just use that.
There we go. Neil Robinson.
Present.
Nelson Pena. George Lazo. Suzanne Chupani, present. Mercedes Castilla.
Present.
Charles James. Esther Colon. Present.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. At this time, we will follow the agenda, public hearing, public comments, I should say. Nelson, you make your presentation to us. We understand that you wanted to share some great information. I think I have. Everybody's got one?
Yes,
You got one? Okay, go right ahead. Can you hear us? No, turn it on. State your name, please, full name, so we can capture that, please.
Nelson Pena, on behalf of the Tommy T Foundation. Foundation was founded after my late son, Tommy, a couple of years ago. Actually, I believe that the actual corporation date was like June 8th, 2019. And we had a really good start, did a bunch of great things. And we want to do now, hopefully, another beautiful thing for the town of Miami Lakes. But basically, like I said, and I don't want to bore you, but we had great things. We did 50 kids learned to swim at PSN Pool. It was one of the first things that we did. We put on a baseball clinic for local kids, mentored by coaches and athletes. We did a painting with a twist, but at the local daycare, there was like 50 children that got to enjoy art. If you're familiar with painting with a twist, but basically in a setting where it was like 70, 80 kids, and did a bunch of great things, and then the pandemic hit. And as a result, we realized we had to scale back and we had to be patient. And even with the pandemic and things like that, we have been doing some things to take care of children that are basically needy. Our mission is to basically sponsor sports and the arts for children that otherwise wouldn't have that type of opportunity. We're currently sponsoring now for the last 5 months, local kids, 3 of them, 10-year-old, I think he's 12 now, and then a 14-year-old in a boxing program, a local boxing program. These are children that were in the boxing program, but were from lower income housing homes, and were about to lose their, I guess, sponsorship by the owner of the gym. I told him that we were in the business of trying to facilitate sports for children, and he said, "I got 3 kids for you." And we've been sponsoring those young men, I guess, at this point. I don't know. If you see them fight, they fight like men, but they're good kids. And that's the thing that we want them to do. We want them to love what they do, be good at home, and do your best at school. And so far, it's been wonderful, even through the slowdown of the pandemic. So that brings me here. And what we are trying to do for the town of Miami Lakes is, and it's most of you guys can see it. Everybody, I believe, has a copy of it. One of them is, the first picture that you see is the wall of the youth center, the east-facing wall, as it is. It's just plain, and it has a window and things like that on top. But the rendition that the artist has done for your consideration basically has the artwork in a way where it creates almost a camouflage or a fusion with the outside tree and greenery with the actual paint that she's going to do, which incorporates some of the trees and things like that. So it looks like it's just one panorama. And then, of course, the images of children not only playing and enjoying nature, which is something that obviously we all grew up doing, but a lot of our kids and grandkids nowadays, we always complain that, they have an electronic device, basically 6 inches in front of their face, and they sit at home much more than we would like them to do. This mural, as I'm sure you guys are all familiar, is basically facing and right next to a playground at the town, at the youth center. It's a covered playground where a lot of children and teenagers play. And I think it would be a wonderful addition for that to the town of Miami Lakes and its residents, especially its children. But I think it's the kind of thing that we can all enjoy. It's going to be put together or led by a local artist who has experience in mural work. She's got work that she's done in Wynwood, in Coconut Grove, in major hotels. And unfortunately, she couldn't be here today because of an emergency in her family. And I did talk to her though, and she did send me some of the stuff that I've shared with you today. Luz Suarez. Yes, Luz Suarez. And she would have loved to be here, just she's out of the country, like I said, in a family emergency. I talked to her. We should be able to reunite with her very soon. I think things are getting better over there, and she's very eager to participate in this project. But the goal is not to just have Luz do it. The goal is to have underprivileged children join her in the artwork. So, and that's what we try to do. We try to open up opportunities for needy kids that are interested in doing something that they otherwise couldn't afford. Hence the boxers, in this case, the potential artists or, aspiring artists. And some may not even know that they're aspiring artists. They may never have picked up a brush in their life. But the idea is to get them exposed, to expand their horizons, and hopefully create their opportunities down the road. And that's what we do. And so that's what this project is about. It'll be at no cost at all to the town. It'll be completely funded by the Tommy T Foundation, our foundation, as well as donated by the time that the artist is prepared to donate. If you all have any questions or concerns.
Is there any question?
I just have, first of all, thank you so much for being here. It was such a pleasure. I did a little research since Clarissa proposed this at our last meeting that we would be hearing more about it. And it's a fantastic foundation from what I've researched and heard about it.
Thank you.
I'm just curious then, why come to the Cultural Affairs Committee for our participation? How are we participating alongside of the?
I was told that this is the proper protocol.
But I mean, what can we do? What is our committee going to?
Well, obviously, thank you, Suzanne. Not that it's necessary. In other words, if this is something that will be a deal breaker, then please don't. But through the pandemic, as I said, we've been slowing down as far as what we've been able to do just because of the social distancing and things like that. But we have completely put our brakes on any real fundraising, because we know that people are going through a tough time. And so since the pandemic started, we have actually done no fundraising whatsoever. We're working and operating with the budget that we created in that almost year that we had. I'm telling you, we had a tremendous momentum going, and then the pandemic hit. But we still could do this project and many more if we needed to with the funds that we've been able to raise. And so, however, if the committee sees it as something that would not hold up an otherwise approval of moving forward, we could use a little help with the lift that would be necessary. I don't know how much of a lift is really going to be necessary. I don't think it's much higher than that second window above, I guess to my right. So it's not going to be a very big lift, but we don't want her climbing up and down a ladder. So we were going to provide a lift. I've looked into prices. Home Depot and other people like that, or entities better said, do rent those types of machines. They're not terribly expensive, but they go between $150 and about $250 per day. If the committee can provide that'd be wonderful. But if you can't, that's fine too. We're ready to move forward if you approve us.
Neil,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you for your presentation. I have one question. Have you proposed this project to the Youth Activities Task Force? I mean, to the Youth Activities Committee, because this is where the building is. The building is a youth center. Usually the youth activities take up these causes. And I'd like to know who directed you to the Culture Affairs Committee, because this is not within our realm.
Well, it is in the arts.
Yes, it is.
It's in the arts.
Can I ask a question, or do I have to be interrupted? Who directed you to?
Mr. Cardinals.
You missed the last meeting, so she was here. Mrs.
Carousel.
The Cardinals recommended them to come through here. Thank you.
Am I not allowed?
Answered your question.
But very rudely.
Okay. I'm sorry. I didn't feel like
Thank you. I was just curious, did you make the presentation to the youth activities?
No, ma'am, I was not asked to.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes, I just have a
Go right
question.
ahead.
Thank you so much for your presentation, and I congratulate you on the foundation, given the loss of your son. I'm very sorry for that. So I just wanted to ask, I think it's great that you're going to have underprivileged children, that are interested in the arts, assisting the artists, because I think that's great, the community involvement. Will this be exactly what's painted on the mural, or is this just like an example of something that can be portrayed on the mural?
From what I understand, since she also, this thing is pretty much, I think, a duplicate of that.
Yes,
Yeah, I think that is what she's going for.
exactly. Okay. And, oh, sorry. Any reason why she has all the children like contained in bubbles? I'm just curious, as opposed to on the actual, grass
Yeah,
area.
I'm not sure of that. I wish she was here to answer that
Okay.
for you. But obviously when we went out there, because we went out to see the building, and when we were talking to her, they were not in this surreal bubble type of scenario. They were going to be, as the children are here up front reading, they were in the actual scene, not in this surreal bubble kind of sscenario that apparently she's gone out. We're okay with whatever guidance you guys want to give us. I think it would look, I think it'll be a compliment either way.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Sorry, I didn't mean to use.
No, not now, no. Okay, we accept your presentation. Thank you for coming. We will discuss this later on in the meeting and make a recommendation. So thank you so very much.
Should I leave and not hear your discussion? Is that?
Well,
No,
if you turn- it's open to the public.
open to the public. You can
We
stay.
have this is a new agenda item, so that will be down at the, under new business.
Okay,
So, but we would certainly, you're welcome to stay.
thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
George?
As far as expenditures, that's fine. There's no expenditures to be incurred, or you have in consideration the lift. We have the lift, we have the paint, we have the sealer. Okay. Because, that's subject to graffiti, so we will put sealer so that it's easy to clean. Can't stop the graffiti, but we can prevent it from damaging the art.
Right, but just to be clear, you don't have a lift, that's what you're asking.
We would be renting a lift.
Right, and that's it goes for 150 to 250 a day.
But I saw a 26 footer for 159 at Home Depot, and I saw a 32 footer for 259.
And it could be a full week, 5 days.
The idea, and I spoke to the artist about that today. I was like, look, we don't need to have the lift longer than we need to. Nobody wants that. So are you going to need the lift the entire time? She said, no. Obviously, there's different sections here. So the idea would be to be judicious about the time with the lift.
So we don't really have a concrete idea of the cost.
Of the actual lift cost, we do not. But she did estimate that it would probably be around 2 days to actually use the lift. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
We
Nelson.
appreciate that, and we certainly would love to meet the artist before everything is finalized, or if we decide to go that way, okay? Thank you again. Thank you. Let's proceed with the agendas. Are there any?
Neil, we have 2 more public comments.
Okay, great.
One
Thank you.
from officers, and we also have a special guest here from Educational Advisory Board, Mari Pineda.
Great, thank you.
So
Who's first?
Mine will be quick. I'm just here to introduce my replacement. It's going to be Officer Robin Amador.
What? You leaving?
Well, I'll be leaving in about 4 months. So,
Oh, my
Are you
goodness.
retiring or are you?
yes, retiring.
Oh, my
Congratulations.
goodness.
I want to be you.
Oh,
Thank you. And Robin will be taking over. He's very capable.
We'll still see you at Holiday Bakery.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Good evening, Officer Robin Amador. Big shoes to fill. It's gonna be very difficult, but I'm gonna try my best. I hope to meet everyone and help you the best that I can with everything.
Thank you.
Robin Amador. Amador. Yeah, Amador.
And for those that have his number, Juan's number, it continues being the same. I actually have it since Keith was his position. I have it back in the day, so it's still the same, right? Not gonna change. And officers, that's for the minutes, and I'm investigating you. So don't.
Well,
Thank you. Mr.
hold on. I'd like to say something. Officer Rodriguez, I know that it is well deserved that you're about ready to go out on retirement, but we're certainly going to miss you. You have been the consummate professional in all the years that I've known you, and that's been 10 or 15 years. And you've always been so helpful and so supportive of the various events that the Cultural Affairs has put on. And you've gone above and beyond sometimes your responsibility. So I know on behalf of all of us, we want to say thank you and salute you for a tremendous job, well done. Wish you great. That you will have a wonderful retirement, and don't forget us, and always stop by and visit with us and come to our events. Thank you. Next person up for the comments.
Good afternoon. Good evening, everybody. Mario Panera, Education Advisory Board. I come to you tonight. I was approached by some member. I really can't say who it was, but in order to discuss with you a concert that they wanted to bring to the town. I believe that it was brought to you before by a gentleman, Charlie, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Charlie Rodriguez. We just wanted to find out, Education Advisory Board was asked also to see if they wanted to get involved. But before going forward, I didn't want to, step on anybody's toes or anything, and see where you guys were at with that decision on having some sort of concert within the town or something sort of like that. Ricky Diamond is here. He could discuss a little more of what entails of what they want to do, if you would like to know a little bit more of it.
We would, please.
And could you just tell me your name?
Mario Panera, Pinera. Thank you.
Hello and good evening, everybody. My name is Ricky Diamond. How are you? Congratulations on your retirement, sir. If you want to learn how to scuba dive, I can teach you. I'm a certified dive instructor. I do aquatic therapy for veterans, and I do it all out of my pocket. Nobody has paid me a dime for anything. I've been doing it for years, and I love it. So, my friend Charlie Rodriguez brought an idea to the cultural department. I don't remember exactly when it was, but it was a Zoom conference. He never heard back from anyone. The purpose of that concert was to generate funds to contribute to the programs that you guys have already. You have programs for veterans that are in crisis. You have programs for children that have autistic needs that are not being met. Also, you have children with Down syndrome. These are all fantastic, worthy, beautiful causes that you contribute to. But let's face it, there's never enough to get taken care of everybody. We don't have in the community, and I've taken notice, that we have development projects that went up. Well, we got some veterans that are homeless, and we also know that they got the HUD-VASH programs, and they got this and they got that. How about we do more for the people who are needy, and we bring in more money so we can do more stuff, but at the same time, get the developers involved, get the community involved. If we know someone who has served their country, who doesn't have the income, surviving on Social Security or VA benefits, let's try a little harder to bring them in a more comfortable, healthy place. And I'm just making, I guess, I'm just throwing something up in the air. If he can afford to buy a part for a car and his car is broken, like the alternator doesn't work, can't we get one of these mechanic shops that's in our beautiful town of Miami Lakes to contribute towards the labor? It's a write-off. It's a write-off for their business, just like any non-for-profit. Non-for-profit are designated to do wonderful things. That's why they got the tax exempt number. That's why they have the ability to get things cheaper. But one of the conditions that's required to utilize a non-for-profit, a 401BC, or I forgot which one it was.
501c.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for tutoring me. But my thought process was, how about we do more as a community? Because I know that by the school, the LaCita, that low-income housing that a lot of people didn't want put up, there's not a lot of veterans in there. I know that for a fact. And there's 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms in there. And some veterans have families, some don't. 1 bedrooms they have. But I've taken notice throughout the years of some of the stuff that's been happening and unfolding. And I am friends with the mayor, and I'm friends with a lot of people. Why? When you do good things, you're recognized. I work for Dr. Alberto Benvenido Hidalgo. You folks may know him. He's the doctor who comes over here, Dominican guy. He happens to be the general counsel for the Dominican Republic. I'm the attache to Dr. Hidalgo. I also work for the Dominican Republic, the former president. But I also, in my role here in South Florida, I work as an investigator for attorneys, and prior to all that, I worked for the United States Federal Protective Service. Now, before all that, I worked in the nightclub industry, marketing, advertising, public relations. There's lots of money that's generated from these concerts, and you can have the community, the folks who own businesses, come out, bring their booth. We can set up sub-sponsorships, contribute, however, anyone, how. Bottom line is, we create the funds that's necessary for these beautiful programs. The day that the mayor asked me to come, he wanted me to be a part of the veterans community. And I said, no problem. No problem at all. And then he calls me and he goes, you got to get over here now. It's happening before whatever. So, okay. I come here, and to my surprise, he was embracing children that had Down syndrome. I work for Dr. Hidalgo. His subspecialty is pediatrics. I've worked for Dr. Keeney over at Miami Children's Hospital, Frank Sacco from Memorial. I've been around a little bit, and I know where the needs are, and I'm not speculating. These are all facts. We can do more. We can do better. All I'm asking is just for you to consider having an event that will go to benefit these wonderful, beautiful, worthy causes. When I was here at the board meeting with the mayor and the council members, there was $185,000 in reserve in the budget, and then a little later on, there was $135,000. $50,000 went for fighting legal fees, mitigating your damages, doing this. I understand the need for the funds, and I want to help, and I'm passionate about what we can do to reach a greater level of giving to the people who deserve and need it in our community.
Okay. Mr. Diamond, I think what I've heard you say that you are interested in helping to put on some kind of concert.
Yes.
Where we could raise dollars to help the veterans, children with special needs and all of that. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And we will take that on advisement, and we will certainly discuss that soon as we can get through our agenda, and we'll bring the item back up.
Whatever you need, whatever you feel that I can contribute to, I am here.
Okay, well, let me just,
whatever you need.
all right, let me just say to you that we, as you know, the town has 9 committees, one of which is the Veterans Committee, one is the Special Needs Committee, and then the Cultural Affairs. Our role is to provide cultural activities for the town of Miami Lakes. And so we would certainly be, when the item comes back up on the agenda to discuss tonight, we certainly would want to bring in the Veterans Committee and the Special Needs Committee and maybe even the Youth Committee. I'm at this point, I'm not sure, but we certainly want to do this.
Let's bring it
collaborating to plan something like that, because that's what it needs to happen. Okay.
To help.
All right, I've given you 3 minutes, almost 5 minutes. So I thank you so much for your presentation. And we will certainly take this up this evening. Thank you so very much for your presentation. Thank you. All right.
Ricky Diamond. Ricky, Richard, whatever you want to call me. You can call me Tony, Johnny, anything that makes your heart go pitter patter, I'll do it.
this evening. Thank you.
Would like to be bestowed.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have the approval of the minutes. Is there
I'll make a motion.
a motion to
Yes.
approve the minutes?
I
It's been
second.
moved by Marilee, second by Esther. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Let us vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Let the record show. Is there any opposed? Let the record show that the minutes were approved unanimously. Let's start with the old business. As you know, that our major signature event is always July 4th celebration, Independence Day. And we just had ours recently, and I wanted to give everybody an opportunity who had an opportunity to attend to share what their thoughts and observations were. I'd like to go first. I thought we had a great turnout this year because, as you know, last year it was done virtually. And this year we were able to go back to the format that we have had in the past, where families came out with their blankets, their lawn chairs, their food. I think, Willie, we had I saw 4 food trucks.
We 5 in total, yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And food trucks. And this year there was standing room only. And I guess everybody had this pent up frustration of not being able to come out the previous year. And I also want to thank our great police department who do such an incredible job. Those of you who've been to the park, you know that it is very congested because there's so many cars coming in, and we use the commercial parking areas at the various buildings. And it's a nightmare with this traffic coming in, going in, and it's all in the square. And the police department does such an incredible job of keeping the traffic flowing. We never, ever have any kind of disagreement or problems in the park. And again, all of that is due to the presence of our police department and the planning by the staff here in the town of Miami Lakes. So that is my observation. The fireworks went well. This year we deviated from what we usually do in terms of the entertainment. Usually we have entertainment for the first 2 hours prior to the firework. And this year we decided to try the sound truck, I believe it is. And they had a Jumbotron up, and they really showed a lot about the town. And music was played by a DJ during those 2 hours span between before the fireworks started. I'd like to revisit that for next year, and I think the music was fine, but I think it takes a lot to keep people's attention when it's just music playing. I think when there's entertainment on the stage, you know, people get a chance to watch that. And so it wasn't until the last, I guess 45 minutes before the end of the entertainment portion this year that people got up and started dancing and all of that. And so that was very good. But I want to thank all of you who came out, and we also had the glow, what do they call it? Glow sticks to give out to family. We had hundreds and hundreds, I think thousands of little flags that we handed out at a table that was set up by the staff here. And it was just a great evening, and the music was loud and, you know, very festive. And I thought we had a great time. But again, I'm just hoping that next year we'll bring back some of the entertainment because it really keeps your focus. Any other comments? Anybody else was there that saw it? Okay, no one else? So again, Willie, thank you for the incredible job you did. I know it's hard to keep all these balls up in the air as you make your transition to your new position, but you still made it happen. So again, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Shall we move on to the next item? As you know, we are closely approaching Symphony of the America concert, which is held each year here in the town of Miami Lakes. Last year we didn't have it because of the COVID, but this year they have already committed to come to this concert, to perform at this concert. And this is a group called Symphony of the America. They are international, classically trained musicians who form an orchestra, and they come and do a tour of the Southeast, usually in the month of August. They will do, the night before they come to us, they'll do a concert up in West Palm Beach. And then they come down to us on that Saturday night and do a performance. Then they leave here and they go over to the West Coast and perform over there. And these are just tremendous musicians. And as I said, the night before they come, they perform up in West Palm Beach, and they charge up there like $75. We get them for a minimum amount to come. And so I wanted to remind you that this is something that has already been approved, and we will do it again. And Willie, you were going to check, did you have a chance to check with the Methodist minister who is leaving? And so we wanted to make sure whoever the appropriate parties were would give us permission to host a concert there, because they have such an incredible acoustics in their sanctuary. And we've done it there for, I guess, what, 16, 17 years, I think. So,
Yes.
Willie, would you please respond, please?
I know we were working with the concert organizers. Church, we haven't heard anything back yet from the church. I will follow up to make sure the date's available for them. And I'm waiting for the agreement from the performers. That's where we stand right now regarding the concert. Amador just took notes as well. Once the dates, we had the agreement in place, and we will make the needed adjustments for police and
Okay, I do hope that we will be able to finalize this before the end of the week, because that only gives us about 2.5 weeks to really publicize it and to make sure that we have an appropriate number of individuals there to enjoy the concert. Because again, they are so top-notch professionals. I would hate to see them come and there are only 20 people in the audience. The previous year, we've always had
Pack the house.
the house is full. And so we want to make sure that that happens again. So again, please move as expeditiously. I know that you got a lot on your plate. I know there's a lot of things going on here in the town, but we need to go ahead. If we're going to do this on October the 14th, August the 14th, I beg your pardon. If we're going to do it on August the 14th, we really need to get this information out there and begin to publicize it.
I have a suggestion, Neil.
Go right ahead.
In our last meeting, we discussed if something was not available at the Methodist Church, the Elevate Church that just opened must have an amazing acoustic because the building is just fantastic. So maybe we can reach out to them as a backup if we don't hear back from the Methodist Church, because I think it's even a bigger venue, I believe.
You're right. You mentioned that at the last meeting,
Yeah.
and we said that we would reach out to the Methodist Church, and then if that didn't work, then we would certainly go over to Elevate Church.
Since we're a little crunched for time, I
Yeah,
mean, it's
so
already.
we gotta move quickly on this. Willie, do you want me to call them? I know you are short staffed. Do you want us on the committee to call and find out, or can you do it, or?
Elevate has been, for the past 2 months, we've been having services.
Right.
So they're up and running, where the Methodist was a little
So-
bit
yeah,
behind.
I don't see much
Elevate.
happening over there. I'm assuming it is.
All right, what I'll do, I'll take on the responsibility of contacting Elevation. You want me to contact Elevation first, or you want me to contact the Methodist Church? I can contact the Methodist Church first, and I'll do that tomorrow.
And I would suggest just reaching out to Elevate as well, just
I
in
will.
case, I mean.
I will reach out to Elevate Church
Are you
tomorrow as well,
multitasking on that?
and get back to you, and we'll send out a email indicating who would be able to accept
Because
it.
Neo
In the
Methodist was
meantime,
virtual. Methodist was still having the virtual.
no,
Last 2 weeks when I went, it was virtual.
is it? Okay, well, so maybe the Elevate will be the appropriate venue.
Chairperson can go ahead and connect us. If
At Elevate, okay.
yeah.
think that's a very nice venue.
Yeah, please.
That would be a nice
Yeah.
venue. Beautiful.
The musicians, see, that's
Right.
that.
All right, so yeah, because we need to go ahead and go ahead and execute that contract so that they know that we are serious about having them this year. Because again, this is July 26th. And August the 14th is right there. And I don't know that it has been announced in the Miami Laker yet.
No, I don't believe, I haven't seen it.
And I saw that Brandon Diaz has resigned. So I don't know who is stepping in to take his place. He was doing all the marketing for the town, which was getting us a lot of penetration out there so that people knew what was going on in the town of Miami Lakes. So I don't know who's taking on that responsibility. So that even adds more emphasis on moving forward on this August the 14th day. So thank you. Let's move on to the next thing. Is Madison Hammond, have we heard anything? You said you were going to reach out to the vice mayor to see if we could get the historical marker from the state of Florida. Have we been able to follow up that? And I think the vice mayor said he had a contact of how we would do that.
Chairman, I haven't heard anything yet. I know that was tied in with the art project as well, that Maurice and I were coordinating, and obviously everything, COVID, slowed us down. But I think we have that on deck for the school year. Maurice, have you heard
Yes, I
anything?
have to reach out back to Diana from the Hialeah Women's Council. She never got back to me, and it was already towards the end of the year. And the idea with the other art project was for the kids to submit art, and since school's not in recess now, it's something that we would have to take up as soon as school starts. I'll make sure to follow up with her.
In the theme as well. So in the other holdup, Neil, the artifact cabinet, it's up and running. There's going to be more things placed. Priscilla actually texted me this weekend. The Seminoles are not doing in-person meetings yet.
Okay.
So that's going to slow down that process as well, because we need their support for the historical marker. So let's keep that in mind. I will follow up with her too to see what.
Would you like for me to contact the vice mayor to see what he's been able to do as well? I know you got a lot to do, so
that'd be very helpful.
All right, I'll contact the vice mayor and see where he is, because he was so instrumental in getting the cabinet funded and also bringing down all of those artifacts from the University of Florida. And
so there's three elements there that we got to play with. The Seminoles being the biggest one, obviously, in the state, obviously the state as well.
So just for your information, we agreed that we would try to have a ceremony for both events at the same time.
Okay.
Because they both represent historical activities that the town has identified. And so if we could have the historical marker being installed that day, as well as a ceremony for the cabinet out there, would be great. All right, I'll follow up with Mayor Collazo. Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to ask Morales a question. Diane is with which organization?
The Hialeah Women's Club.
Hialeah Women's Club. And her last name?
Jaregui. Jaregui. You taught her kids, I think. That's what I thought.
And in the theme too. So there's going to be a theme behind the art contest. We have to make a notation on
We
that.
had talked about 20 years.
Yes.
And she was going to propose it to the Hialeah Women's
And that's where it stayed.
And that's where it stopped, exactly. And that was already towards the end of the year, so I didn't follow back up with her because school year was pretty much over in a few weeks, so.
Because she had some funds available
Correct.
to commit to this, so I don't know where that is.
She just had to get clearance that it was okay to do that theme.
Okay.
So if we're okay with that theme, then I guess she'll present it when they're back in school session.
Let's move forward on that, please.
Thank you, Morales.
All right, the next item on the agenda is the events calendar update. I wanted to, and I guess I'll wait until the next meeting, but I just think that we need to look at our events calendar. Coming up in October is Hispanic Heritage Month. And in the month of December, we also have a night of art, which is celebrating Art Basel here in the town of Miami Lakes. Then in December, we have the holiday storytelling reading at the Main Street Players Theater. And that's where Mrs. Claus will come and do I guess about 40 minutes with the children with puppets and celebrating Christmas with puppets. That is usually held in December. And then following that in January, we usually have the prayer breakfast, which is being sponsored again this year. And then in February, we have Black History Month celebration. I should go back and say in the month of November coming up, we're supposed to have a concert on the green. Willie, we hadn't gotten any kind of response for them yet? Is that going to work?
So Charles and I have been in communication for the past few weeks. Tonight, he's going to give us the update, and under the committee's direction, we will contact Shulas to see the availability. But
right,
if you want, Charles.
I'm going to come to Charles in just a minute because it's on the agenda here. And so we have a really packed events calendar coming up. And after February, we then go into the month of March where we celebrate Women's History Month. And we have the Women of Distinction Luncheon that we host each year, which is a big event for us. And then we go right back into Paint a Picture for Mom, Father's and Daughter Day Fishing Tournament, which is usually in June. And then we're back in July again. So I just.
The Pride.
And the Pride, oh yeah, we got to get.
April is
Pride.
Earth Day.
April is.
I was just gonna say, if we don't have one, I can just type one up with the events that we have been having so that we can always have it something in writing to reflect.
Well, that's what I'm reading. This is what I'm reading from.
Okay. Oh, perfect.
We can base it off the budget request.
Yes.
I
Okay.
can send that to you. That way you can.
So we can have it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Willie, but his calendar has dates, the budget doesn't.
No, yeah, that's the only thing. She's
Can
right.
you
Yeah.
share that with us also?
And June, so May was.
Well, I don't think everything has dates there. No?
Mother's Day, and then June, Pride Awareness.
Yes. And Father's Day, yes.
The fishing tournament,
Yes, Father's Day fishing.
Mother's Day event, and Earth Day. Did we mention that?
Earth Day is in April.
July 4th.
Yeah.
And May is what do we say May was?
We'll send that document out to everybody, Esther.
All right. So hopefully at our next meeting, we'll be able to appoint chairpersons for each of these committees. There'll be subcommittees. Okay?
Okay.
Shall we move on?
Sure.
Any other questions or comments regarding the calendar events calendar? Hearing none, let's move on to the next item. The next item is, Charles, you have the floor. Concert on the Green update. Where are we, please?
Okay, we're very close to naming I saw her, I talked to her, but I'm dealing with a man, she's an international recording star. She was supposed to give me the final today, the manager, that's why I have my phone out here. She's not committed 100%, but I would say before Friday, we'll have her name. She lives up in West Palm, so she's already in the area. And I would just leave it at that. I don't want to say that 1,000% she's going to be here, but I feel very confident that she'll do it. I've talked to her and I've talked to her manager, who's her husband, and it's just a matter of getting it finalized. Maybe even before the meeting is over, I'll have a call from him, but I know before Friday, I'll have a note, and then we can go from there. We can get with Willie and see, for those of you who don't know, we usually use the Saturday before Thanksgiving. That's the Saturday that we usually use at Shula, and they've been very amenable to us coming over there and helping us out. So once I get a okay from her, I guess this week, I'll get with Willie and we'll contact Schuler's and see if that's still a good date for them. It's the winter season where the rates are a little high, but they've always kind of accommodated us and let us have that. And for those that don't know, what we do is shut down the 18th hole. We bring in a portable stage. You come in, you bring your blankets, you bring your lawn chairs, you bring your refreshments, and then Shula has a little small tent there that they have hamburgers and hot dogs and pizza and soda for those people that do not don't bring anything, but it's a very festive night. And we have the spotlights, we have the restroom. And for them to shut down the 18th hole is quite a financial undertaking for them, but they've been willing to do it. So I'm pretty confident that before this week is over, we'll have the name of the artist, and I can get back with Willie and the town, and then we'll be able to announce it, get her to do some publicity, and I think it'll be a big event.
Sounds good. Let's remember, we want to stay within budget.
Right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. You always do a great job at identifying.
I asked Willie about the budget today, so I know about what we can offer her
All
for
right.
this concert. Yeah.
Great. The budget process is going forward in September.
Yes, sir. And those dates are available for anyone that would like to participate. Council meeting.
September 7th and 21st, I believe it is. Okay, thank you. Next item on the agenda is the budget for this. Oh, I just put it on here. I wanted you to know is the Miami Lakes holds its budget hearings on September the 7th and the 21st. And remember, we asked each of you to try to be present so that you can add support to our budget that we don't know what the amount is going to be. We know what we requested, but we need to know what the final amount is going to be so that we can make sure that we can encompass all of these other events that we want to do for the upcoming year.
What time is that meeting?
It's usually at 6:30.
Okay.
And it's here in the chambers. I'd like to take a moment, personal privilege, and ask our treasurer, Esther, do you know where we are financially in terms of our budget for this year that's left?
Willie was supposed to provide us the budget, but we have like a lot of extra funds, which we're not going to spend. I mean, it's just.
So we need to know.
We'll send the actuals out tomorrow to the whole committee, and Esther can do an assessment on it.
And Willie, I don't think you have the numbers on the revenues for the truck for the
July 4th, it was.
Did you get them?
seven-
Only because it's the 26th.
We're talking about the July 4th event?
Yeah,
750 was the revenue we received from them.
that's all.
The space rental, yeah.
Okay.
What's the agreement that we have, yeah.
We do have a lot of extra funds, Neil, so if there's an event you want to
So
do
maybe we can
before
do something with this. All
before
right.
you end the year.
I'm sorry.
Hold it, please, one at a time. Madam Secretary.
Yes, before we move on, in the minutes, it shows here that a motion was made that Chairperson Robinson would identify some CAC members to work on a presentation, maybe a brief video to the council displaying all of our CAC events. And the motion was seconded by Denise Maddox and passed unanimously. So
All right.
I know you mentioned that you'd like everyone to be there, but from the minutes, it sounds like it was, passed that we would be more, a little bit more organized in that. We'd actually have someone designated to speak on behalf of the committee, yourself, or Denise mentioned putting together a short vignette of all the different things. We asked people to maybe share pictures.
Through the chair, Diane, previously the town did do a PowerPoint because they have all those pictures that they post on Facebook and on social media. But now with Brandon not here, I don't know if somebody has done a collection of that PowerPoint for Neil. They did it for him
Well,
last
I
year.
did that. I put the thing together 2 years ago when we made that presentation, the PowerPoint presentation. I came here and worked with the staff and put that
Right.
together so that we would have something visually to show
Which was
the
awesome.
elected officials.
Yes.
Because oftentimes they don't get a chance to come to every one of our events. But this is a time when you have to clearly show that you are managing the funds that they have made available to us. And so that they can see the actual activities and not so much verbal, but visually see it. And so that's what we did. I think it was 2 years ago. So we
Yes, sir.
asked that be done again. Do we have anybody on staff? Is
We,
Elizabeth?
I'll speak to Elizabeth tomorrow. The pictures we do have, that
All right,
doesn't,
I'll
so we'll,
work with her. As it relates to your request, Madam Secretary, I'm going to ask you if you would be kind enough to make the presentation about Pride Month And I asked, the other one was Earth Day. I think it was,
That
wasn't
was
it
Felicia's.
Felicia,
Felicia had requested that.
that she wanted to make the presentation about that. And is there any, what was the other one that you were wondering about, that we had someone else? I do the global, I do the entire piece, but there will just those specific things, because they were new activities that we had this year that we hadn't had before. So we want to make sure it gets into the budget process, even though we have submitted that, but we want to give some explanation about it.
Oh, Juneteenth. that's
Juneteenth,
right.
we missed that. And Charles, would you be available to do the Juneteenth presentation? It'll be in September the 7th,
7th and 21.
21st. So Juneteenth will be done by Charles James. Suzanne?
Juneteenth, Charles James, thank you. Earth Day, is that?
Felicia
Salazar.
Salazar. And Pride Month. Suzanne or Esther?
Or Esther.
Esther, are you available to do it?
It was Esther's, I think you're
This
the one
is
that
really
requested, right?
Esther's.
She requested this be added to the event of
I
calendar.
cannot commit to anything because I have medical emergencies within my family, and
All right.
Susan has been helping me out.
Okay.
Suzanne, I
So
apologize, Suzanne.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm just having difficulty with the mask understanding it.
She's saying she's not going to be able to.
I'm letting
Commit
Neil
to
know
do it.
that you have been helping me out with, because I've been having family emergencies. And if you can continue to do so,
Is there
I
anybody
can't
else
commit
that
to
would
not
like
being
to
here.
Work on the Pride Month. I don't know if I would be the best person to promote and present that to the council at this time, since I went ahead and had my own Pride awareness as an individual.
But who would it be better, since you already had yours? All right, so let's move on. I've got to get
Would
to
you
the.
like to do it?
I prefer not to. I'm okay with having the event, but I don't promote it, so to speak, as a cultural event
All right.
completely.
We're not
So
promoting it, we're just promoting awareness of it. That's, I think, the biggest disclaimer there.
That's why I think you'll be the best to do it.
If
All
I
right.
remember, the night that we did that, we were kind of restricted for time. And so I think if we could just mention those in the general overall, I think it would be effective enough, as opposed to somebody talking 2 minutes, somebody talking 3 minutes. Because if I remember, we only had from Cultural Affairs, what was that, 7 minutes, 9 minutes, or something to that effect?
Last year, it was 8 minutes, because I
Right,
used a song.
So
and
if we
that took up 8
add,
minutes.
if we add more time, we want to make sure.
All right, then I can do the global
Right.
view of all of the events that
Right.
we have.
That may be
if that's
better
something
as
we wanna do.
opposed to individualizing it out. I don't have a problem with it, but.
All right, let's move
Maybe
on.
be
We've
more
got to
effective.
make the decision. Out to entertain a motion. You want to make a motion to that effect?
Yeah,
that-
I make a motion that our new programs that we had for this year be incorporated in our general review from the Cultural Affairs Committee,
Presented by the chair.
presented by the chair.
All right, it's been moved in second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
aye.
Motion, is there any opposition? Hearing none, the motion passes. The chair will make the presentation for all of the events that Cultural Affairs calendar will entail next year to the during the town budget hearing. Thank you. Let's move on. Next item on the agenda is in the month of August, traditionally, we recess. Is there a motion for that this year, or do you want to have a meeting in August?
When does the new budget begin?
Excuse me?
When does the new budget begin? When do we
Oh,
lose the funds from this budget?
October 1 is when the new fiscal year begins.
Okay, 'cause-
But the town makes its final decision after the 21st of September on approval of the various budgets. There are 9 budgets that they'll be looking at for committees.
okay,
So they usually make their decision. They have 2 budget hearings. The first one is on the 7th of September. The second would be on September 21st. And then less than 3 days later, they make a decision on what the budgets are going to be for each of the committees.
okay, for the following fiscal year.
Yes.
But then we lose any additional funds. And last year, if I recall correctly, we ran into some crunch
Right.
time where we had funds that we were going to lose, and we did an event that was fantastic. So if we meet in August with enough time, we can see how much we have left in the budget.
That's why I was trying to get that
What
tonight.
events we can possibly do. It doesn't look like
So
we
we
have
could
it
probably
this
do it
tonight. I don't mind meeting for that, because we don't want to lose the funds that
Well,
we asked for so diligently.
I
September.
agree totally. That's why I was just thinking that this might be something we could do now with the concert, with the request that's being made for us now, sometime in the month of August, but certainly before or either early September, because again, the fiscal year for the town begins October 1.
Okay.
So if we did something in the month of September, we still have some funds that are left that we could use to do that.
I think if we meet in August, if everybody agrees to meet in August, we can see what we have left and we can explore what options we have.
Okay. I just wanted to put it on the table because usually we do recess in August. And if people are available, I'm certainly will be here. I'm going to be gone the first week of August, and then I'll go back out the last week of August. And then one more time in Labor Day weekend, I'll be gone. But is that my motion that we will not, Madam Secretary, that we will not recess this month? And we will not, CAC will not recess in the month of August as we've done in the past. Is there a motion?
Motion that we will not have an August recess.
Great.
That we will meet.
It's been moved by the secretary, assistant secretary, and Mayor Elise has seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye. Can we just make sure that we have the budget, that what we have left allocated so that we
Yep,
can.
I'm gonna request the
Perfect, like
actuals
that we can
tomorrow.
Decide, yeah,
Send it to Esther.
okay, great.
All right, so that's good.
Willie, do you know what day that meeting would be? You have an idea now?
What day, what?
Which meeting?
The one in August.
Oh, yeah. Now have we gone back to today is the 26th. So this is what, the third Monday of the month? We were trying to get
No,
back to
this is the last Monday of the month.
last month. Oh, yeah.
Saturday's the last day of the month. So it would be either the 23rd or the 30th, right?
When can we do it? And we were trying to get back to what we used to do.
We always meet the fourth
23rd is
Monday of
first
the
day
month.
school. I know.
So the fourth Monday
I
of the
know.
month would be August 30th, Neil.
What was
The fourth Monday of August would be August 30th.
Our next meeting
late.
is August 23rd.
August 23rd.
Oh, that's
Okay.
right.
Okay, that's
Fine.
good. That's good.
Okay.
Oh,
So
yeah,
that's
it's
the
on there
next
already.
meeting.
It's on there. It's on my calendar at least.
All right, great. So,
23rd, 7 o'clock.
and at that time, we will decide, we will learn exactly, well, before then, we'll learn exactly how much money we have left. And then we'll take up some items to go ahead and do some events between now and then.
Once I get the
Okay.
documentation, I
Once we
will
get
analyze it, send you,
Send me a
forward it
copy on the committee,
to Willie and forward you.
please, so we can, so about October, all right, let's go. Thank you. Next item, please. Committee chairs, I said I'll table that until the next meeting. Tommy T Foundation, is that this?
That's this, what this. just
You're right,
came up,
that's what
yeah.
I thought, okay. All right, so let's take up that item. First,
Oh, I'm sorry.
go right ahead.
Yeah,
ma'am.
but do you think,
T Foundation follow-up, in the minutes, it shows that we also had a presentation by Nancy Rogers from the Safety Committee
She's not here.
regarding a local author, Mary Barnett Kircher.
Yes,
Right.
which Clarissa had.
Path to Freedom.
Correct.
And I researched that, and that is just an amazing story, an amazing book.
All right, so let's do that.
I was thinking maybe we could have an author's night.
Yes,
Good.
that would be nice.
Even in our.
Like a short book
in our
reading.
Town library, which is so cozy, or here, and invite her out and have like.
All right, that's good. Let's do that.
Does anybody think
We're gonna add that. We'll have
We're gonna
that
add
under
it to the-
discussion. Let's get to
Can we
the other
invite
one,
her to the
please.
next meeting?
Yeah, she came. Who was it that made the presentation for it? That
Nancy
Nancy.
from
Rogers from Safety.
Public
Committee?
Safety.
Safety, she's my neighbor.
Yeah,
Okay, so invite her to the next meeting, maybe?
yeah, we can have her to come. That'll be great.
Her or Clarissa, because Clarissa is the one that has the connection with the author, I believe, and she's in town for a certain period of time.
But ladies and gentlemen, so that we can move through the process, let's deal with this. I put this on the agenda so that we can invite Ms. Mary Barnett at the next meeting so that we can do that. But I'd like to get through with this mural with Tommy T Foundation.
Will we
It's a
have
Neil,
Ms. Suarez
could
at the
we-
next meeting also? The artist, will she be able
Yeah,
to be
that's what-
present?
We're gonna try to get her to be here.
Could we hold the funding for that until we speak to the artist?
Yeah, but I want to go on record tonight saying that we either want to support the mural piece contingent on what the
Well,
costs are going to be.
how can we know before we hear what she's gonna do with it?
Excuse me?
How can we know that we're gonna support it until we know what she's gonna do with it? We wanted to ask her something about the pictures and all of that, but if we approve it, then we've already said that.
You can
it's
put
done.
that in a motion with the proviso that you want these three things to go forward. So, but I don't want them to leave tonight not knowing that we are very interested in supporting them, but it has some proviso that they need to produce. One, I'd like to see the artist here. Two, I'd like to know that the time frame that they need in order to actually do the mural. Then the third thing is how much is it going to cost us to support that? But we can we can support this conceptually based on these other three things that they produce to us. So they go away knowing tonight, yes, they're going to be supportive of us, but these are the three things that we have to bring back. So I'll entertain a motion to that effect if someone wants to make that.
Chairperson Robinson, I'd like to make a motion that we share this with the Youth Advisory Committee, the Special Needs Committee,
And veteran.
And the Education Advisory Board.
Veterans.
But not to take it upon ourselves, since we are very stretched going into, maybe not right at this moment, but remember, we're adding events to our calendar that they've already said, like, well, we don't have extra money, you're gonna have to incorporate them within an existing budget. So I'm very interested in supporting it, but since they touch upon the youth, it's being done at the youth center. They touch upon
The veterans.
special needs.
No, you're confusing this is the underprivileged children.
Well, special needs also.
I think that was the,
Yes,
I thought that was the
both.
concert.
The foundation is also special needs.
Okay.
Special needs as well. I researched the Tommy T
Okay,
Foundation, and
okay.
they do mention special needs. So
Okay.
I do not agree with taking it on just as the cultural affairs because.
I totally
Second the
agree.
motion. Second the motion.
Okay, so the motion is that we will, in concert with Special Needs Committee,
Youth
Veteran Committee.
Not the veterans, the youth task force.
Well, he was talking about.
No, that's the
Mayor-
other
that's
one.
the
Mr.
concert.
Diamond.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So youth, special needs. What's the other one?
Youth task force. You got that one? That's it.
Special needs youth task force, but we don't even know if they are in agreement, so.
That's the thing. Can we have some discussion on this before we move with the motion?
All right.
Just, I have a few
Well,
follow-up
let's
questions.
wait a minute. Let's put a motion on the floor, get a second, then we can discuss it. And then
Okay.
can either vote it up or
Perfect.
down.
Okay.
So
In
we
the
have,
event that special needs and the youth task force want to participate with us, then along with the CAC, then we are very interested in supporting the painting of the mural based on that we meet the artist, we have maybe more specific rendering of what the mural is actually going to be, and
cost.
the cost.
I second the motion.
All right, it's been moved and properly seconded. Now let's have discussion.
Yes, so I have some follow-up questions. How long would this take for the artist to do along with, including children in the community?
I asked her that question today, and the answer was, depending on the weather, because obviously this is outside, it could be between a week to 2 weeks. to finish the
Okay, and
entire-
as you indicated, the cost that we would bear, if we can bear it, would be the lift, nothing else, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so what I wanted to discuss was, we have funds until September
end.
30th.
September 30th.
September 30th.
We
So
lose
I
her.
don't, obviously I would like to meet the artist because I'm sure we all have questions for her. I couldn't find her online right now, so I don't know if her name is Luz Suarez or Lucy Suarez.
It's loose, but I believe she operates under a different name.
Okay, if maybe you can give us her name through, Willie can send it to all of us so that we can research her and see, her work. Maybe this is something that with the funds that we have, we can do on our own without undertaking the assistance of the Youth Task Force or any other organization. If it's something that can be done before September 30th, I don't know.
That's why I use the term in consultation
Okay,
with special need in the youth task force.
okay.
But I don't know that they have any funds available, but we do
Oh,
have some, but
they
we
have
want to do it in collaboration
Got it.
with them
Okay,
and to support it. Is that what you were,
Because
Is that
we have
okay?
other things that in August we may decide we want to spend,
all right.
X amount of money.
So,
You don't
is
need
there any
anything else
other,
from me?
any other
No, no.
statement we need from anybody?
that
Have
was it.
another
I'd like to
question?
meet the artist, and see her work online. That would be great.
Her work you should be able to see within the next day or two.
Okay,
And I'm going to
perfect.
find out what's going on and how quickly we can get her back in.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe there's an option for her to appear virtually, if it's possible.
Yeah,
She can definitely appear virtually.
well,
That-
good. Maybe she can do that then.
I've asked that, and it'd be unfair to have one person be on
Oh.
virtual. So
Oh, that's true. We
Yeah.
gotta Go back to.
yeah,
in
I actually
person.
we had the issue for economic development that came up, and I asked, and we can't do it.
Okay,
Would the next time she would have an opportunity to be here be what, August 23rd? I hope?
Correct, yes.
Hopefully she should be back by then.
Okay.
great.
That's
Yeah,
what
because then
what I
there's all the
understand.
funds that we have too.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pena.
Is there any other comments? Questions?
Any other questions for
I'd
them?
like to- I'd like to call the question on the motion. That means that we're ready to vote now.
Yes.
All those in favor of the motion, do you want to read the motion back, Madam Secretary?
The Cultural Affairs Committee is interested in supporting the Tommy T Foundation and the painting of the mural at the Youth Center. In consultation with Youth Task Force and the Special Needs Committee. Also, we first would like to have a specific amount of money for the budget reported, meet the artist, and be able to review the rendering of the actual mural.
You've heard the motion. You seconded it before, didn't you?
No.
Oh, I'm
Esther
sorry.
did.
Esther seconded. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposed? Hearing none, the motion passes. You got it. We'll see you on the 23rd. She's got to please be here.
I understand I have to go to Willie.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Thank you.
All right. Now, the next item that we wanted to take up is the concert. And this concert is going to help Mr. Diamond. Diamond, you want to come back up? Now, I got kind of mixed thing there. You said for veterans who are in need, the concert, for youth, not youth advisors.
It was a
but-
combination.
Yeah.
From what I saw at the last meeting, there was a need for surplus money to go to the programs that you're funding out of the foundation. When I saw the children with Down syndrome, when I finally had the honor and opportunity of meeting.
But Mr. Diamond, the request that you have before us this evening is funding and planning a concert.
I'm not asking for your money.
Oh, you don't want any money for the concert for us to
We're
have?
giving it to you.
So what do you need from us?
They're going to be charging for the concert from the public. They're going to be charging for the concert for the public, and that's how they're going to recover their funds.
Right.
That's what I
But
understood.
obviously, if anyone's done big concerts, you know that there's going to be cost of stage, lighting. Your words, the entertainment on stage. Just towards the end, 20 minutes towards the end, that's when people got up and danced. Pizza, hamburger, hot dogs. Shula's has a liquor license we can utilize. We can get a concession. They have a concession and they have the license to sell alcohol. We can get proceeds from that. The food trucks, $750. How many food trucks do you have for 4th of July festivities? $750 was the best you generated. I could do a lot more than that, 10-fold over. Between the food trucks, getting a percentage of the concession from the alcohol, the admission. Not only that, the grounds are not even utilizing the property at all. The 18th hole, beautiful spot, but the whole place is shut down. So we got rooms over there that we can actually utilize, not for fees. They'll give it to us as a loss. So I can house the groups in there, and we're talking about freestyle music, or we can bring in Temptations, different genres of music, but we can do something to generate more attention, marketing, advertising. The mayor has his podcast. I understand that somebody was running your Facebook and all that stuff. I'm ignorant and I apologize. Please, I am not the guy to do the internet stuff. I'm still having a hard time figuring out all the little buttons on Facebook. But if we can do something to generate publicity for Miami Lakes, bring in funds for these programs, that's the idea behind everything. To help provide the need, and the need is money.
All right, so let me ask you, what kind of time frame are you looking at?
That's how we came to you. What do you have available? When would you like to do it? Let me see who has the dates available. Is Stevie B available? I can get Gente de Zona. Alex Delgado is a personal friend of mine.
Okay. So you're not looking for any financial support from us. You're simply looking for.
No, I'm giving it to you.
Okay.
You're giving
So
it,
you're looking
you're
at
giving it to the
various
foundation
committees.
that's going to support either the
That's the
veterans or
whole
the special
idea.
needs
Okay.
through our
Well,
committee.
not only
Through the
special
chair,
needs,
through the
The
chair,
veterans.
there's
One
9
moment,
committees.
one moment, please.
chair to our liaison. The county just suspended all concerts, including the one in Adrian Arts, due to the increase in COVID. What does the town, he was at the last commission meeting. What does the town feel about supporting this? They have to supersede with Miami-Dade County regulation. We have no right to have a free concert that we're charging with if we're under COVID restrictions. Do you know how the town feels? Because he was present in the last council meeting.
Well, as far as restrictions and so forth, from this point here, if the committee votes on it, it still has to go council approval. So there's steps before the final decision is made. So the first step is for the committee to take this up as a discussion item and move it forward. And then, like any other new event, Neil will have to go to front of council and explain what the concert will intake and where it's going to take place.
Really, the only reason I'm asking is because he keeps on saying that he's going to give us the money. He's not giving us the money, not the Cultural Affairs Committee. He's going to give the money, the funds to the town. And if it's designated, say, to the special needs, it's going to go to the special needs. If it's something as it pertains to the veterans, it's going to go to the veterans. What's going to come to the what's going to come to the Cultural Affairs Committee is what I'm asking. What portion
Let
of
him
it?
respond. Let him respond. Thank you.
I
Good question.
I appreciate what you said about the COVID and so forth. But if you turn the news on, you look at the media, we've been having concerts all over South Florida. No, and look, Rene Garcia had a little something right there at the Freedom Tower with Miami-Dade. We had something in Hialeah with Carlos the other day. Yeah. So at the end of the day, those are not the concerns that are prolonging anything or preventing us from doing any of this. It's going on. Look what happened. Gente de Zona had a song, the song that made everybody turn that switch and say, Libertad. We want freedom. We want our lives back in Cuba. And at the end of the day, that's the big push. If you guys are into Gente de Zona, I would very much love for you to see that song so you can truly understand what a patriotic American Cuban sounds and feels for his country that's going through the atrocities. You hear it all the time, but since we're not really focusing on that and we're focusing on other things, those guys are personal friends of mine. They'll do it.
All right, so let us be clear now so that we can bring some closure to this, because we usually run our meeting for an hour and we've an hour and 24 minutes now.
It did start with the veterans, by the way.
Yeah.
When I saw the different other things that Miami Lakes does with my own eyes.
So let me just hear it clearly from you. Whatever funds are raised in putting on this concert, some of the funds will go to veterans, some will go to the special need, and some will come to cultural affairs. Is that what I understand?
Yes. That's what it started off with veterans, because I'm a Marine and I
All right.
know the need. I've been there and I've
Yeah.
been in the trenches. I can communicate effectively with someone who's been there like I have.
I heard you.
know. But what I saw, I said, wait a minute here. There's more of a need for other programs. Why am I being ignorant and selfish? That's not like me. That's not like the person. No, let's spread the wealth.
All right, here's a veteran. He needs to speak. Go right ahead, Major.
No, I was going to say, I've been here for 20 years. I've never seen an event where a person had to pay. So I don't know how that's going to work. All our events, the committee pays for it. We've never had an event where it's $50 a person, $25 a person, $30 a person. As long as I've been here, we've never had that. So I don't know how you have that, how you control that, how you control the entry and the exit of those people coming back and forth to a concert.
You know what? And thank you for bringing that out.
Right.
How do we control that? Control that with fencing, control that with police officers. But we can also hire security officers that will take the place of that high-priced police officer. We're going to have bathrooms. We're going to tend to all the needs and requests that are required. We're also going to have liability insurances from each of the food trucks. Everyone's going to sign it. Everything's going to be 100% squared away. At the end of the day, the money that's generated is going to be a split. It's going to be a contribution to the town of Miami Lakes and the programs that you guys already have. Now, I hear you. You've never had it. Well, hey, why don't we start doing it? Raise some funds.
Town attorney.
Just because you've never had it, you've never had to look at the logistical
Through
aspects of it.
through the chair, the town attorney is going to have to also revise,
Yeah.
revisit all this
We've
stuff.
got to get the town attorney to agree that this is appropriate to have a concert that will charge a fee for people to come to, and that the town, various committees would be the recipient of some of the funding that comes from this concert. Okay, now, but I'm just trying to make sure we do it legally.
Organizations for the town. For instance, the
wine and food.
The Food and Wine Festival.
Yeah.
And the Mayor's Gala. The Mayor's Galas, the funds go to the special needs.
That's true.
So, and that is a pricey, I think it's $100 per person for the gala.
Yeah, this year's
So we do charge within the town, we do have events that they do charge for. So I don't see that being an issue.
Curious, you're the chair of the education, right? How
Correct.
come you didn't bring it up to your board today?
Well, I didn't want to, from doing some research, I know that it was brought up to the cultural affairs. I did not want to step on anybody's toes or anything.
Okay.
And out of respect, I wanted to come to you guys.
All right, so here's what, go right ahead.
One last question, so just so I'm having a little difficulty grasping it. So the reason you're here is because you feel that our committee really dovetails the best because it's a concert and we're the cultural affairs committee, rather than the educational, the veterans, the special
What I want to do
needs.
is incumbents.
No, I know, but you came to this
Yes.
committee meeting.
Because I was under the impression, because this committee
Is
was
that
already.
why? Because it's the cultural affairs?
Yes,
we-
it brings people together. It's a wonderful thing. On top of that, it had already been brought
I
to
thought we already discussed it and the actual
Charlie Rodriguez.
Rodriguez, and we all voted that, no, we were not interested at the time.
So
I recall that meeting.
I don't recall the meeting. I remember the name sounds familiar. I would like to go back to the minutes of that meeting.
It was a Zoom meeting.
A Zoom meeting.
Okay.
It would be good to go back to that meeting and see what was discussed at that meeting. Also, I just think that if this is going to be something that is going to benefit other committees here in Miami Lakes, I think it should be a collaborative effort and not just all on the Cultural Affairs Committee. If things are going to the Special Needs and to the Veterans Committee.
Well, the Cultural Affairs Committee, I was under the impression that it was brought to you guys. But I don't, well, it was.
It was brought.
We voted and we voted against it.
Well,
We're not interested.
Perhaps it wasn't explained the way that when I looked at it, I said, wait a minute, it needs to be tweaked, because I initially came in for the Veterans Committee. That's how I got.
Okay.
But when I saw everything else, I said, there's no way I can be selfish here. This can be spread out through all the committees. It could benefit everyone. I shouldn't have to take one minority committee that's exclusive and just contribute to them. No, I want to give to everybody
All
because
right.
the need's there.
All right. What we're going to need, Mr. Chair from the Educational Committee, is your support of cultural affairs, taking this on and you all being a part of this. Since you did, I think it did, was the record, Mr. Rodriguez, was he from the Educational Committee, or was he just an individual who had brought that to us? We've got to research the minutes. It was via,
I believe the numbers were like $3,500 or something like that. That was under discussion, and it was.
I was out of range. We didn't have that kind of money. Is that right?
Yeah, I really would like to go back to the minutes and see what was discussed.
All right, so here's what we can do.
$3,500 for what?
That's why.
We don't have all the minutes in front of us, and I don't even remember, that was, this is July, so that had to be in, you think, no, it's later.
No, June, we were here in person.
May.
Oh, May.
If you guys
May or
want,
April.
as a little, I guess, treat, Charlie Rodriguez has a lot of concerts lined up. Hot Wheels, Hard Rock.
Yeah.
We've done tons of stuff. The Miramar Amphitheater.
Exactly.
Tons of money.
He's
I
still
would love, and I would, please, it would be my pleasure to invite everybody here. You're allowed to bring one person. You could pick between the Hot Wheels event we got going on. You can pick the Hard Rock one. You could pick the amphitheater. I want you to see everything from backstage, meet the artist, ask questions, bring cameras, whatever. We're gonna have food, drinks, everything. And you're gonna see how well organized this is. And you're gonna see the crowd that comes out. And we got Miami One on board, Mr. Frank Walsh, owner of Power 96, who does a lot of work for the community.
The other guy we got too, who's
And
interested.
Frank's a wonderful person. DJ Laz, I can get him here, snap my fingers, no problem. Chris Cadd, his father's a big developer out in Doral. He worked with Wyclef John, Pharrell Williams. I can get headliners, but at the end of the day, you gotta look at the dates that are available. You gotta look at where, what, when.
All right, here's what we're gonna do. Because one, we need to go back and look at our minutes. Two, we need to consult with legal and educational committee about this. And then we can probably do all this by August the 23rd, so you can come back to us. And you can come back with a recommendation from your committee, the education committee, supporting this kind of a concert. And then we nail down specifically the proceeds from the concert will be distributed to these various committees, and then we'll have something that we can really go with.
Neil, I also think that we should invite, if the veterans are going to profit from it, the veterans, if special need, the needs.
I had said that earlier, that we should have all of the
So Willie, can you invite all the stakeholders?
All of the stakeholders.
That's how it started with me. But when
So
I
can we-
saw what was going on, I said, wait, I love the veterans. I'm a veteran. Yes, yes, yes. But what about these other folks? Why are we excluding them?
All
We're
right,
not gonna
all right,
exclude
so
them.
we're not gonna exclude.
Just for the record,
Yes.
you are Charlie Rodriguez's promoter?
No, I'm a friend of Charlie Rodriguez. We've done concerts many, many years. I'm
All right.
a consultant. I'm a partner in some of them. When he had told me he had time.
Yeah, we can, this could be something.
Fix the idea.
Your title is not the promoter for Charlie Rodriguez.
I am not going to speak as his partner promoter for any event, except if we are able to collaborate on an event for here.
Good.
What he's doing aside.
Good, good. I hear what you're saying. And here's what we're gonna do. At our next meeting, August the 23rd, Chair, Educational Committee, really, we need to reach out to the chair for the Veterans Committee, Special Needs Committee, to come to our meeting. And they need to be ready to support this kind of a concert. And they need to have gotten approval from their committee that they are in supportive of it. And then you come back on the 23rd, we will make a decision. And this could be as big as Jazz in the Garden, that they have something there every year in March. And this could be something that
It's not one. I want to have a continuous theme going on.
I understand.
And it's just, it's a wonderful thing because
All right.
community merchants can come and have their product there, and we can make it. We can even make it exclusive to
Do you have that?
Miami-based business owners only, not like food trucks from wherever, but keep it among us and our community.
Sure, we understand.
You know,
All right,
but of
we
course,
got it.
obviously, there's going to be money that needs to be spent, and you know, so that's
All
where
right.
sponsorships come in. You know,
This is where the relationships go.
You know,
Thank you. We got it.
like now.
Put it right here.
I just want to make sure.
Thank you, Mr. Diamond. Appreciate you so
I
much.
know how much they cost.
Yeah. Okay, so George, are you on board with what we just decided? If you want to make that a motion to, that at the August 23rd meeting, that Education Committee chairperson will appear here along with the Special Needs chairperson. I did say veterans, and I said,
Well, we said from all committees.
not all, the ones that are going to be the recipient of the award. He said veterans, education, and special needs. So those three committee chairpersons need to appear here, and they need to have presented this to their committees prior to coming here in recommending support for this concert. Are you with me?
I'm listening to your motion, but I'm not making a motion.
No, I'm not, I'm making a motion. I'm asking George to make the motion, and I'll second the motion. Is everybody hear what we're saying? August 23rd, three other chairpersons from the committees, Committee of Special Needs, Education, because they're the ones that brought it. It said veterans, yeah, will have already gotten support from their committee before the 23rd when they come back here, saying that we support this concert concept. And he can make another presentation if he'd like.
And Willie will bring that to us?
And all of that
Affirmative?
will be done, and we can then vote it up or vote it down.
I'll bring Charlie. I'll bring Charlie himself, and if I can't project myself. then
You're doing well, Mr. Diamond. So I'm just trying to get the motion through so that people understand and it's recorded. Suzanne, are you missing something from us?
I've got veterans, education, special needs will all be here. They will have already discussed it with the committees, and at that time we will.
Make a decision on supporting it or not.
Supporting or not.
Can we
Collaboration
request,
with all those other groups.
can we request that legal be here?
And legal.
And legal, please, town legal.
I think so.
Yes, yes.
And maybe who represents, well, you represent.
And if it's going to be on Shula, can somebody from the Grahams be here? I mean,
No,
is
I
there,
don't think they've decided
No,
on venue.
no, not yet.
I think that's,
It's their responsibility to go out and sell it to whomever.
Right.
It's our responsibility to approve the concept and to move it forward. Well, that's what they have to decide, what they want to do with that. All right, so the motion is on the floor. It's been moved by George. It was seconded by me. Is there any more discussion regarding it? Hearing none. All those in favor of the motion, which will require the three other committees, chairpersons, to have gotten approval from their committees in support of this concert. Education, special needs, and veterans will have a legal counsel from the town to be present, as well as appropriate staff people who need to be here. And then we will vote it up or vote it down. That is the motion. It's been seconded. Is there any more discussion about it? Hearing none, I will entertain a vote on it. All those in favor, please signify by either raising your hand, so it seems to be kind of contentious about whether we need to do it or not. Let's raise our hand. All those in favor? Madam Secretary, will you count off all those in favor? Your hand up, George.
I've got it, everyone but me.
All right.
Not reported as such.
All right. We have one opposed. Motion passes. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. It's been a long
Motion to
evening. We've
adjourn.
covered a lot.
motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn. Just want to thank everybody for coming out and it's
We
so
have,
important.
we have a follow-up.
The mural, you were discussing some of the expenses. If you don't want to do the electric lift, I could provide a scaffold. At no cost for the mural, if that's something that you guys want to get behind, and not spend any money.
Oh, great.
Right, but that's not really our decision because that's safety issues and being up on a scaffold rather than.
You need general liability. And you need general liability.
But we voted that the concept is good. But these are the provisos that needed to happen in order for us to go forward with what the cost was to meet.
Motion to
That's
adjourn.
already in the motion, so the meeting has been adjourned. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.